wonder if you'd like it. Probably not.
Well, the people who told me to get it said that I would.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, I think it was someone named Lachlan, sold it to me by saying, I know you hate Twitter, but the people you need to read on Twitter also hate it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
No, that's true. I wonder why people hate it. I use it all the time. I'm on it all day, every day.
It seems
but I definitely hate it.
What?
Oh, yeah. I can't stand it.
It seems really powerful for this ecosystem, actually. I've seen it make things happen.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Well, it's like a group chat for the world. I mean, I guess whoever's on there, right? I mean, it's like this thing, right? You can just like post your idea and then like, I don't know, people like interact with it and stuff like that. The problem is just like, oh man, you just open the timeline and then there's just so much random stuff and it kind of messes with your head.
What does it do for you that you can't replace though?
It's a really, really useful way of like seeing if an idea has resonance.
Oh, okay.
And like very easily.
People need that actually.
Yeah. And like really easily. But the thing is that like the way the timeline works and stuff like that, you can't just like, I don't know, there's like ways that if you post in certain ways or if you become I don't know, if you say something in a funny way or if you say something in a controversial way, you can like take an idea and then wrap it in this like comedic container or this like controversial container. And the likelihood that it'll get like spread is like higher. But then, which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucked up actually. But it's also kind of funny.
I can see that being enjoyable. I guess my question
is, that's like the most enjoyable part actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're quite good at it. Like I'm not on Twitter and I feel that I felt your Twitter presence anyway, which is kind of
That's
crazy.
Fucking crazy for real?
Yeah. Like through people.
Damn. Most of what I tweet about is how this food in San Francisco is bad.
Okay. I mean, no disagreement there.
Damn, really? But there's good spots. There's like really nice restaurants. There's some people there that I think probably have good taste in food that say that's really good.
I think it's tough because San Francisco, at least if you're talking about the tech part of San Francisco, runs on like...
Soylent.
I had a Soylent phase.
So did I.
Okay. Nice, brethren.
Yeah.
No one knows what it's like. It's a mood.
So wait, you were drinking Soylent?
Yeah.
Damn,
like
like
a month.
A month? Like only Soylent?
Not only. Like one meal
Tell
a day.
me the truth.
No, actually
only
not only. Okay. No.
I was only on Soylent.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
that's
I was one of those guys.
For how long?
Probably like a month or something. I thought I was like above the world or something, like above society or something like that. I don't know why. I just thought I was like, I'd figured something out. I don't eat food anymore. All these idiots eating food.
But did you feel physically okay by the end, or were you?
I think so.
That's amazing.
I think so. Yeah.
You didn't lose the ability to digest solids.
No, I didn't.
That's what I worried about.
But it's so lame. Like it's so lame. Like
what,
drinking.
Soylent?
Yeah, just like drinking only Soylent. Like I think back on it.
Yeah, it's not.
Like what was I thinking? I was like only about like I was so all about efficiency that I'm just like, yo, fuck all these restaurants, fuck cooking, fuck like Anthony Bourdain and shit. Like fuck all these people. Like I'm just gonna like drink Soylent. It's crazy, man. It's so dumb.
But it is the like logical continuation of what San Francisco food is. Actually, I was going to say.
Oh my god. That's
no,
crazy.
Sorry. Don't clip that. I'm gonna get canceled. What I'm trying to say is, I remember living in the Bay, and there was like Sweet Green. There's a salad chain.
Oh, I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, and they're good. It's like fresh. A bunch of different ingredients. It all gets piled up. Someone shakes it for you, and then and the point of Sweet Green is that because it's been pre-shaken, you can eat it with like a spork without paying attention to what you're eating. Right?
Oh,
it's like the opposite of a steakhouse, right? Where you have to I have to cut my steak and I have to choose whether I'm having the potatoes or whatever's in front of me. But Sweet Green is like you can do this while you're coding or whatever. Like it doesn't. Yeah.
Can we see that?
A Sweet Green. But I feel like Soylent is like, oh, why would you even use a fork? You could just drink it. Like, the point is it's food to eat while you're still working.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
That's why San Francisco food isn't that great.
Yeah, because people don't go there for food. They go there for work.
They're always doing something else at the same time.
That's a really interesting way of like processing these kinds of like super convenient foods. Cause like, even if like McDonald's, right? It's like really convenient. A lot of times when you look at like who's in the drive-through, it's a lot of like families and stuff too, or like someone like working or whatever, right? It's like somebody going through the drive-through and they're like, you know, they're super limited on time.
Yeah.
And they just get this, you know, like meal or whatever. But it's interesting, like everyone wants like the healthy McDonald's.
Yeah, I think that's what that is. And then if you work at a startup and, you know, they'll pay for your lunch.
Yeah.
It's classic. I feel like they make most of their money from company lunches. And those people are eating at their desk, you know.
Did you find it, Robbie?
Sorry, the camera's...
Okay. You got it?
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so can we see Sweet Green? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is what it is?
Yeah.
So it's like pre-mixed?
Yeah.
What?
That's like mixed salads.
Interesting.
So it's like, look at all the stuff piled in, but the I guess the value prop, right? It's just like shovel this into your mouth. You get nutrients.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to pay attention to every individual bite, right? It all just goes in there.
I mean, I guess that's kind of useful. I guess there's I guess like if you follow this line of like these convenient foods, I guess like a shawarma is kind of like that too, right? Like, or a wrap.
Yeah.
Like there must have been a time where the foods were like prepared and only eaten in specific forms, and they must have like over time gotten into like these more like mobile form factors.
Yes.
Right? Like even like a banh sandwich, like it started as like street food, right? And the interesting thing, and they basically like, I think it was like with the banh sandwich, I think the way that it worked, it was like the French had invaded like Vietnam or something like that. And they basically took like the French baguette and they like flipped it into this sandwich, right? And I think that like the cool thing about the baguette or a banh, like they wrap it in this like paper thing and you can just like carry it with you, right? Like you could just like you know what I mean? Like you can carry it's like mobile
food.
Yeah, mobile food. Are you good, Robbie?
Yeah. Should be good.
Okay.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But I will say there's also cultural factors because even if a food allows you to, I remember I've been in the past month, I've definitely eaten a banh mi on the street while walking. Yeah. And it's not the most Toronto thing to do.
What do you mean?
It's a little bit like you're slightly too much in a rush. You know, it's like this isn't like
enjoyable. Wait, what?
It's like this isn't like if you are signaling that you don't even have the time to sit down and eat your banh mi, it's not that normal here. I wouldn't say people are being like judgmental. I didn't feel that, but it's not very common
to like just walk around and eat a banh mi
as you're walking.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
I think in other places it's more like, oh yeah, of course. Like you're in between meetings. Like,
oh yeah,
we've all done that.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, but then if you're in Europe, it's the worst thing ever, right? Like if you do that in France, they will throw you out. Right? They're like, this is.
The other thing about Toronto is just like, there's a lot of people here. It's like I think it's like the fourth largest city in North America or something like that. If you include Mexico City or something, it's like a lot. It's a big city, but then also like if you go to New York City, it's like that place is crazy. Like it's like so fucking loud all the time. I don't know how people live there. It's just always loud. There's just always like this baseline amount of sound. I think you get used to it or something, but there's just so many more people, and so. It's not just like eating a banh mi sandwich while you're walking is like more acceptable in New York City. By the way, I don't think they have I don't know if their like Vietnamese food is like as developed as like Toronto's Vietnamese food.
Yeah, I would believe it's not.
So maybe you'll never really see someone walking around in New York City with a banh mi sandwich, but I know what you mean. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe
something.
What's that? What do they get from the?
Or like the bodega sandwiches.
Yeah, like bodega sandwich. Or they have like chicken and rice, right?
I guess I don't know.
What they have like those like stalls, right, where you can get like rice and like chicken. Do you know what I'm talking about, Robbie?
You're like, pull it up, show us the stall. Chicken rice stall NYC.
It's like chicken and rice. There was actually this guy. Who's the mayor of New York City? Was it?
Or he's running.
No, he
Right
is,
to run?
isn't he? Who's that guy? Who's the mayor of New York City? Mamdani or whatever?
Yeah, Zoran Mamdani.
Mamdani, yeah. So he made a video about like these like halal food stalls or something. If you find it.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh, is he not the mayor?
How do you spell his name?
he's running.
M-A-M.
Yes, yeah.
I thought he was.
MAMDANI.
And then it's like food. Yeah, it's a video. It's like night. No, it's not Subway. It's like, I don't know. Look up like rice or like halal food street thing. I think that's it. And halalflation.
Oh yeah.
This one. Can you,
And it's called halalflation.
Oh my gosh.
so like,
Today, we're going to get to the bottom of this.
That's so fun.
How much does a plate of halal cost right now from this truck?
Mm.
$10. Chicken over rice, lamb over rice, $10.
$10?
Yeah.
When you're a street vendor, you have to pay for the food, the plates. How much do you have to pay for your permit?
Before it was 22K.
17,000.
And how much does a license cost if you get it from the city?
I think 400.
And who are you paying?
The permit owner.
You're
this is a
paying
cool
the city.
video.
No.
You pay the permit owner $22,000 just so you can sell this food.
Yes.
And who is this?
A random guy.
You applied for a permit?
Apply and no come anything.
It's long wait. Number 3,800 something. And
After 2 years, you're number 3,800.
yes.
Anyways, the food
These are the
in
four
these stalls
buildings
is
that
really,
you
really
can
good.
cancel right now.
Like really good.
Give these
Yes.
their own
You know, I forgot what this dish is called, but it's like,
single word
yeah,
about them.
I think it's just like chicken and rice,
How much would you charge?
or chicken rice they call it. And yeah, it just bangs, man.
Ugh.
It's kind of like Laziz almost. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
ever had
Yeah,
Laziz
yeah,
yet, but it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you grew up in Scarborough, right?
Yes.
That's cool. What's your favorite restaurant?
Oh man, I got into food
Yeah.
after I left Scarborough.
Oh,
so I
damn.
haven't like
Like in San Francisco?
yes. I had a partner at the time who lived in the East Bay in Berkeley.
Yeah.
And that's when it was like the Samin Nosrat salt, fat, acid, heat world of food.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then when I came back to Toronto in 2021, then I brought all that, I guess, awareness with me.
Yeah.
Like growing up in Scarborough, I didn't particularly feel like I was
Yeah.
surrounded by, I didn't know what that meant
yeah, for
to be
sure.
surrounded by good food.
That makes sense. There's really good food in Scarborough.
I 100% believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your path like? Like, how did you end up from this person that like grew up in Scarborough doing whatever you're doing? And then you ended up in like San Francisco, and then you were like teaching design. You started like, what was that path like? That's pretty interesting.
I grew up in public school in
Yeah.
Scarborough, Bridalwood.
Yeah.
And then I got into the gifted program. And so still public school, went there in Markham District first I went to William Bursey and then I went to Markham District. And then I think I always cared a lot about, I don't know if my grades were high. I applied to
Yeah.
a bunch of schools. Some of the schools I applied to were in the US, and it was an exercise for me. You know, it was like, oh, it'll be fun to practice this. I didn't really expect to get in. I got into Stanford, and I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Had you been to Stanford before, like the campus and stuff?
No.
Oh shit.
So,
So isn't that kind of odd though? Because like it's not common to like apply to U.S. schools, right? If you're a Canadian, at least like when I grew up, that wasn't common.
I agree. It's not common. So in my last few years of high school, I went on this trip with my family, and we went around to a bunch of the schools, especially on the East Coast
Yeah. In America.
in America.
Yeah.
And it was really inspiring. And it was also like gentle family inception, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, look how nice this campus is, Michelle. Like,
Yeah.
if you just did your SATs, why not, you know?
Yeah.
So I let myself be incepted in that way. I was like, you know what? Actually, why not? Just give it a shot.
Yeah.
But I don't think, actually, there's an interesting distinction here, because when you go to a school like Stanford, first of all, only half of the student body is on financial aid. What that means is the other half can afford the crazy tuition.
Yeah. It's like really expensive, right?
It's extremely expensive. Yeah, it's like
much more than a Canadian school, right?
Yeah, insanely more. It's like 40,000 USD at the
Versus
time.
like 5K
every year.
or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what does that mean? It's not like Stanford's going out of its way to get students who are from very privileged backgrounds, you know? But factually, it's like, who are the people who have the resources, who like have all that? And what I'm getting to is I realized once I got there that my kind of honestly haphazard way of going to a school like that was rare, because a lot of these students are like, I was raised from birth to end up here, you know, or like my parents went here, or and that creates a different kind of spirit or vibe in relation to your education. But I think it is kind of unusual to be like, oh, I'm halfway through high school. You know what? I'm doing pretty well in school. Let me just try this and see what happens. Yeah. And I feel like I accidentally, very Alice in Wonderland, ended up in a very unexpected world that taught me a lot. Yeah.
So you go from here, and then you ended up in Stanford, San Francisco, and then like, were you immediately like, oh, this is crazy, like I made a good decision kind of thing? Because I remember I worked on I was working on this like documentary thing where I had to interview people that were working on like cutting edge science and technology. And so part of what we needed to do for that was go to Harvard and MIT and just like interview people there. And I remember going to the Harvard campus for the first time, right? At this point, I was like, I don't know, maybe like late 20s or something like that. Like I go on the campus, it's I was there with my friend who was doing the interviews and like making the thing with me. And we get to Boston like at night or whatever. We check into our hotel, and he's like, hey man, you want to just like walk around the Harvard campus? You ever been there? I'm like, nah, never been there. And I'm just kind of there to get the interviews done. And we walked around this campus, and it was like crazy beautiful. Like it was like, to me, I was like blown away.
It is beautiful.
You know, and like there was like this church that was there. I don't know if we were supposed to go into it or not, but we kind of like snuck into this like church. We're just like looking around. And I think I remember reading something that like Harvard was founded like before like the United States or something like that, like as a school. And I'm just walking around, seeing all these kids there. The campus looks so nice. The like soft lighting and like around the campus at night. And I was just like, holy shit. If I had seen this when I was in like high school, you know what I mean? Like I maybe would have like tried to like, I would have, I was like, damn, this is what a school's supposed to be. You know,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say like there was a sense of like it was like there was like a magic to it, you know, because when I was there, it became clear to me that at some point some people were trying to like centralize knowledge, right? Like it's like pre-internet, right? So they're trying to like, this is a place that you come to in order to interact with knowledge in a way that's going to like help you self-actualize. Right. And you could feel it like in the design of like these places, you know? And it's cool. And even still, like when I walk around like campuses and stuff, like that kind of like, it makes me really happy, because I find like I wish like more of society was like designed in that way, where it was like where you could so obviously see what the purpose of the thing is. I think now maybe like these institutions, maybe like, who knows like how effective their designs are now relative to like the modern world. But like it's just really interesting, this idea that at one point in time there were these people that decided to centralize this thing, and like and it's not just like the books that you need to bring into a place, but it's like you need to bring like the people, right? Like the faculty. But then it's not just like the faculty, you also have to like design the place in a way that's conducive to thinking. The way you walk from one building to the next building, it has to be like an environment where this faculty wants to be, where they believe that they can do like their best work in this space, right? It has to be a space where like a student comes and into the environment, and they believe that like they can change who they are, they can transform the world from being in this environment, you know? It's really cool. Yeah.
I think though, I hear you.
Yeah.
I think the way we do design now is much more starting from first principles, though.
Like what do you mean?
If I were trying to design like the equivalent of a Harvard for that some institution that'll last hundreds of years,
Yeah.
and I were trying to make those cues for people, like how do I make people feel like this is a place to think, and the kind of work I would have to do to figure out what those design cues are, it feels almost like starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But the university system grew out of the monastic system. So it was tied to religion. A lot of these cues also come from how we build churches. Like they were pulling on other elements of culture that were already there.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for us to imagine that now, right?
Interesting.
Because I wouldn't just be like, well, obviously it's like, I'm going to take these cues from the church, right? Because we relate to religion differently now. So we really have to start over. And then you get buildings like Mars Innovation Center, because it's like, oh, you can tell that these people are doing their best.
Yeah.
But all of culture around that has shifted to a point where the design process, it feels much more like you're starting from a blank canvas,
Yeah. Can we look up the monastic thing? What was that thing? You said monastic.
Like the monastic origins of the university. Yeah. So like the first universities being for monks.
They were?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, okay, look, yeah, I might just get mogged live.
No, I don't think so.
let's look this up. Yeah. Like the origins of the university system.
The university, is this the first one? Oh, the University of Al Qurayn, founded in 859 CE in Fez, Morocco by Fatima El Firi, is recognized by the Guinness World Record as the oldest continually operating educational institution in the world. Okay, cool. That's the first. But what's the monastic?
Look up, like, monastic origins of academia, maybe?
And also, what does the word monastic mean?
Like monks.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, is that really what it means?
Yeah, it's like related to monks.
So it's like monastic is like monk-like?
Yes, or it's part of the tradition of being a monk.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Monastic schools, along with cathedral schools, is the most important institutions of higher learning in the Latin West from the early Middle Ages until the 20th century. Oh.
Yeah, okay. The last part of this. In some places, monastic schools evolved into medieval universities.
Holy shit.
Which eventually largely superseded both institutions.
The university is generally regarded as a formal institution that has its origin in the medieval Christian setting in Europe. For hundreds of years prior to the establishment of universities, European higher education took place in Christian cathedral schools and monastic schools, where monks and nuns taught classes. Evidence of these immediate forerunners of the university at many places dates back to 6th century AD. With the increasing growth and urbanization of European society during the 12th and 13th centuries, a demand grew for professional clergy within the Catholic Church. Wow. Oh shit. So it's just like a natural evolution of this thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
I think there's lots of consequences.
Oh, that's why there was a church at this like Harvard campus that I went to.
Yeah, or even Trinity College has this beautiful church, right, in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's like, that's weird, right? It's like, okay, this great college at U of T, why does it have to have a church? It's like, well, the origins of this place are very religious.
Okay. So you're saying that there was like there was like this kind of monastic foundation that everything was built on top of, this existing time where society had a certain kind of relationship with religion.
Yes, and devotion and study.
Devotion.
Like this is like the monastic life, kind of a crazy thing to do, right? Like you have to become a monk, you're probably taking a vow of celibacy. You are devoting your entire life to it. You're not going to have a secular family. That's something that you do when you have a vocation, a calling to God.
Yeah.
And it's very respected in society, but everyone knows that's a very extreme thing to do.
Yeah.
And that idea that, okay, this is something that you do to truly devote yourself to God. So the idea that the university comes from that, you have all of these design cues of study is important, right? This is the most important thing you could be doing. Yeah, if it comes from studying God and under a Christian framework, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Right.
That's like, okay, we see how like studying the Bible or studying these scriptures or writings about them, clearly that's spiritually important. You can take the design cues from that environment and just translate them to, well, we're not just studying the Bible anymore, but it's just as important, right? And we're surrounded by the same stone, and we've got the same stained glass and these beautiful wood libraries. Like you've inherited that sense of sacredness
Oh, I see.
from an earlier time, almost like repurposed it. And we're not doing that anymore. Or I think we've lost touch with that. Like, again, if I were to start an institution, I wouldn't look to churches necessarily as my design cues
Okay.
anymore.
Damn. To just to spit it back to make sure I understand. So like you have a society that it has a specific kind of relationship with religion. And then based on that, they start building structures, institutions, culture, ways of being. And then that starts to kind of like expand. First, they run some initial experiments. Maybe instead of just studying God, we could study this other thing. Maybe it's like, I don't know, painting or something, or some kind of thing.
The liberal
And,
arts.
and then they take that same, everything they already know, and then they just slowly start to apply it to that. And then it expands. Well, if we can do that, maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do architecture. Maybe we can do engineering. Maybe we can do science. And it just builds and builds and builds. And then it keeps building to the point where we forget where the thing even came from. And we just think like, oh, that's like a university.
Right.
That's a university campus. That's where you go to school.
Yeah, that's what the Wikipedia article was saying, that came to supersede the monastic, right? So it's like, then later we were like, oh yeah, the university is the fundamental category, right? We forget that came from somewhere.
Right.
And that used to be the new thing.
Interesting. Yeah. So why do you think that is not an effective base to like build off of now? Why do you think that's not like a good design cue like anymore?
I think so. I actually would love to see someone going back to the monastic origins of the university and using that as design cues. Like I think it would make for something beautiful. However, I think even if someone did that, our relationship to religion, to worship, to God has so thoroughly changed that it won't feel the same way.
Interesting.
It's like, how do you feel when you walk in a Christian church? Like literally you, right? It's like not the same way that most people did in medieval Europe, for sure, right? It's like...
It was probably glorious. Like when they walked in, they were like, holy, it was probably insane.
Yeah, and it was a monument to a cosmology they actually lived in, right? They were like, this actually, I understand this in relation to a God I actually believe in. And the sense of awe I can fit into this larger spiritual story that I actually believe in, right? But now we enter, unless you are like, I would argue, even if you are religious, sometimes I think it's hard to re-enter that enchantment
that they might have had in that time.
Yeah, you can enter a church as a tourist or,
I mean, they had like Michelangelo, right? Who was basically like Michael Jackson or like whoever the greatest artist is of that time, right? Uh-huh. And he's like painting like these like ceilings and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that guy, if you think about like, that guy's like the biggest artist of the time, basically, right? So, I mean, you're going into this church and I guess it's like a way of interacting with like art in its highest form,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was probably insane, man. Thrilling.
Okay, so that's a great idea though.
What?
It's like if I keep going back to Mars Innovation Center because
my God.
I know, because I work in innovation and but not there, It's like, that's a great idea. Who are the greatest artists of our time?
Yeah.
And can we commission something for Mars? Why not? If it's important, why would you not? Like that's actually a cool idea.
So wait, what? So what? Why is it? How do you start? Like, how do you start with no base? Like if you think about something like religion, right? It's like here's what matters. It's
inherited.
Yeah, it's like here's what matters, and this is why it's important, and it justifies. Like it governs the way that you like live.
Yeah.
And so it governs the way you parent. It governs the way the relationships you have, how you conduct yourself in all of these relationships. And so, how is it that? How do you create something like that? Like, how do you? If you don't have that. Yeah. And if it's so important, why is our society functioning without it? Is it important?
Oof. Okay. Let's get back to that question. I don't know. It's like one of the biggest questions in philosophy and the history of
Is
science.
religion important?
Yeah. Or like what has happened that we live differently now? Like there's so much theory about that specifically. And
Do
I
we
think-
live differently? I think we do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
indisputable. I think
Yeah.
we'd live differently. Yeah. What I was going to say earlier about what do you do when you're starting from scratch? I have one theory about that, which is that at Stanford, I teach a class called Needfinding,
Yeah.
which has been around since the 70s. And my wonderful mentor, Michael Berry, inherited it from Bob McKim, who started it. And our theory about this is there is a temptation when you're designing in this post-tradition, post-religion world. Like, let's say you don't inherit from a tradition how to make this. Or you have to make something with technology that is new, right? So by definition, there's no tradition around it, right? It's like, well, no one's ever made a handheld computer, so I can't ask the tradition. So
Right.
how should it look? How should it behave? How should it feel? The Stanford take on this, the need-finding take on this is the central constraint of design is human need.
Interesting.
So before you even make anything, you should go talk to the people who are going to use it, deeply understand the many dimensions of need, use, usability, but also meaning, and use that once you get a deep immersed anthropological, I would say, sense of where this thing I'm making is going to end up. Then I can make something that actually fits that and works.
Right.
And if you don't do that, the failure mode is to make design decisions that you don't realize you're making, or make something that delights you but maybe not other people.
Right.
Or you're like, it's very easy to make something that seems cool that doesn't actually work, I would say.
So you're saying when you are starting from scratch, you should start by understanding the people that might be using the thing that you're creating.
Yeah, or the context where it's going to end up.
Right.
And in that way, this goes back to, is Toronto a blank canvas?
Yeah.
I don't believe that there's really from scratch in design. And I think that if we think that's what we're doing, we're probably missing something, you know?
What do you mean by you don't think there's from scratch in design? Oh, you mean like you can always start from somewhere. There's always some raw materials that exist that you can start with.
And I think it's important to acknowledge that, because I think if we pretend we're going blank canvas, I think often we're influenced by ideas and concepts we don't realize we're influenced by. But also B, we end up making things that don't actually work for where they're going to end up.
What's an example of like something that you think is like has effectively gone through this kind of design process?
I see that like started off poorly designed.
Or no, like like an example of something that was designed that kind of like started from scratch, but then had no pre-existing thing to build off of, but then went and like formed a deep understanding of like an anthropological perspective of people, started asking people questions, and then
Oh, okay, yeah. A nice example that we sometimes talk about in our class is there was a Californian solar company called SunPower.
Can we see this, Robbie? SunPower?
Mm-hmm. It actually still exists, but I think it was recently bought by another company and they had like bankruptcy issues. So that's why I say was, because I don't know to what resemblance this company has to its origins now, but yeah, they're there.
Let's see. Can you click on that top link?
So this comes from some work that Michael Berry did with them.
So we're creating an all-in-one home and commercial energy solution that transforms.
Okay, that
how we
image
live,
on the
connect.
right, if you go to the image on the right, this was like I think it was like a NASA solar like flying competition or something.
Wow,
That, they were
that thing looks amazing.
Yeah, very, very weird and interesting. So the solar panels that this company made came from a lab at Stanford. So like they were innovating how to make them more efficient. And at the time, they used a technique called nanosurfacing that made it much more efficient than what was on the market.
Yeah.
And they were super stoked. So these scientists like won a bunch of competitions. They entered like the Stanford solar car competition, I think, and won. So they were really like on their high horse about how good their technology was.
Can we see nanosurfacing too?
Mm-hmm. About how good their technology was. And then they were like, okay, let's go to market. We want to sell to real people in the real world.
Yeah.
And this was they went through a lot of struggle because their point of view was what makes us great is the technological efficiency, right? And that trumps all. And from like an academic lab perspective, great, you won. Also, you won these competitions. But they ended up getting into a lot of fights with the contractors who would install their panels, because these contractors would say things like, okay, in the real world out here, when you're installing solar panels on people's houses, we have to work with like getting like the licenses approved. Like it's like a municipal process where the city says, okay, you're allowed to build this on your roof. And that process was very unpredictable. So there were long wait times. It'd be like you'd put it in, and then at a random time, seemingly, the city would get back to you and be like, okay, fine, yes, you can build it. Here's your window.
Right.
So the way these contractors were used to working is, look, we got to get a quick turnaround on this. Like, we only have a few weeks to do this. But SunPower was like, no, it's going to take a week to ship our perfect panels to you,
Yeah.
And then once we ship them to you, like, here's a several 100-page manual about how to install them perfectly. Because before this, they had installed some on the International Space Station.
Oh, I see.
So it's like
they're
different
coming from that world.
Yeah, different business context, right? And these
Yeah.
contractors were like, are you kidding me? Like, we don't have time to read this. This is a nightmare to install. And you can't even get them to us on time. Like, this is not how this business works.
Yeah.
And then the physicists were like, it took them a lot of work and need finding to actually realize, look, they're telling us something real about the world, right? It's like,
Right.
we don't have the only valid view on this, because from their view, they're like, what are you talking about? We have the best panels by the objective measure. You should be willing to put up with anything. But they couldn't see that to do good design, we're talking about context fit. It's not just technological superiority. And in fact, the contractors were saying that. They were like, if this continues to be this hard to install, we would literally go back to the panels that are less efficient, because it actually fits our process and it fits the real world,
Yeah. That's so interesting, because that's a really good story. It's like really far removed from this idea of like nanosurfacing and like.
Right. And if you're a physicist, it makes sense that you're like, oh yeah, we won, right? And I think this is something we think about in a lot of need finding, is everybody has a story. What?
No, can we look up the definition of nanosurfacing? Like, find out what this is?
Solar.
Okay, hold on. Nanosurfacing involves modifying a material surface at the nanoscale to create novel properties and functionalities, seen in applications like medical implants and cosmetic treatments.
No. Can you look up nanosurfacing solar panels?
Okay,
because
cool.
I think it's a specific. Yeah.
I just want to see what this is, because it's going to help me understand. Like, sorry, not see, but the definition.
Yeah. Like, maybe that nano coating might tell you a bit more.
Nanocoating? Is this the same thing? Nanocoating is also known as nanocoating technology, involves applying a liquid polymer containing nanoparticles to the surface of solar panels. These nanoparticles are typically composed of materials like silicea or titanium dioxide. When applied, they create an ultra-thin, transparent protective layer that bonds at the nanoscale. Is it something like this?
It's possible that it's this. It looks like it increases efficiency. The way it was always explained to me was, I saw this diagram where you can make a solar panel that's kind of flat.
Yeah.
Or you can make a solar panel that at the nano level is kind of like this.
Yeah.
And you can imagine that actually catches more sun.
Oh, I see.
So, but it's added like undetectable to the human eye level.
Yeah.
That's
So like the kind of,
but I don't know if that's really how it works. Oh yeah, this.
Oh, okay. This optical
Yes.
elements.
Yeah, like that. I've seen a
Negative
diagram
index.
like that in relation to how this works
Yeah.
from a physics perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Like, you're working so hard on this thing, and then you're like checking out the technical performance of it, and it's like good, and it hits, and you're like, yeah, okay, we made the best solar panels in the world. This is it. And then some dude is like driving around Mississauga trying to load these fucking solar panels in the back of his van and shit. His shawarma's getting cold in the fucking front, because like he can't fit this in, and like, you know what I mean?
This is an
And it's
amazing.
like,
Yes.
yeah, and it's like, fucking says like it says like optimal nano surfacing on the box and
Right.
shit. He's like, he
Right.
can't fit the box into the back of his car.
Shawarma guy doesn't care, right?
It's just like,
Well, so this is. Well, no. So this is what I was gonna say. Is we like the way to make this story relatable for people listening who are like, I don't work on solar panels. We all have a story about where our value comes from,
oh,
and what
Interesting,
need finding
yeah.
is as a process is it's very important to check your story against reality, like, and to update it
right.
for the new context that you're in.
What is like a definition of need finding? I like that word.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like you're finding
you
a
can
need.
look it up. Needfinding Stanford. Yeah.
Understanding. Is this what was that? What was that previous link? First one, yeah. Understand customer needs from the outset. Okay, wait, go back. Yeah, you had that right. Okay. The most important thing about need finding and design thinking is that we look without knowing what we are looking for. I like all these people just sitting here looking like that.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Look at them need finding.
That's like me sitting in my car,
Honestly,
like in
actually,
a plaza,
when
just
you
looking.
said,
Am I gonna go into this? Am I gonna go into Lizzie's today?
when you said that you like asking questions, I was like, that sounds so need finding. Like
Need
that's
finding?
honestly low key, high key. What you're doing, I feel like in your life.
So like if you ask a lot of questions, you're like needy.
No,
If you're good at need finding, are you needy? Is that like a term? Oh, like that guy's so needy.
no,
Damn, he's so.
that would be a brand disaster for us if that were like if those things became.
Damn, that's
associated.
needy.
Oh no. I mean, honestly, actually, I shouldn't
Can't
be.
believe how needy that design is. It's just right on the mark. It just factors everything in.
I shouldn't be so judgmental because you're actually really good at finding what resonates with people, and maybe that's the way to talk about it in Toronto.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm gonna
Make your designs more needy.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit with
Be
my
a more needy
discomfort on
designer. All right, so principle is human-centered design. Look to users for design inspiration. Purpose. Uncover the latent needs, gaps in use, usability, and meaning. Look for surprises, differences between what people say they do and what they actually do. Gain empathy for users. Discover the emotions that guide behaviors. Look for extreme users. Users who are pushing the system may reveal needs before the mainstream. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Process. Bring back stories and artifacts that communicate your insights. After the observation phase, you will gather your team to share finding and insights. Photos. Use photos to isolate points of interest and generate later discussions. Take as many as possible. 20 per hour is a good pace. I like that. Damn, that's good. Defining the pace of photos. That's cool. Sketches are a great way to interpret a scene. Let's go down. This is great. It's interesting because a lot of this is like what like a writer does too, you know, or like a journalist or like a documentary filmmaker or like anything like that, right? It's like it's somebody that's just observing and trying to understand things.
Yes. A lot of these tools come from anthropology, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Yo, you're low-key doing it now.
I don't know.
Well, isn't that what like the podcast is?
Maybe.
And sitting in the parking lot and all
Yeah,
that?
maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I imagine myself in like Egypt and shit. Not like in like a plaza and like fucking, you know?
I think the most interesting anthropology to be done is in the plaza parking lot now.
Really?
Yes, but I
Why?
totally hear and respect that you want it to be in Egypt. You know, that is not this. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I imagined. I didn't think I'd be outside, you know, like fucking Ridgeway Plaza and like just looking at what shawarma spots people are going into. What are they eating? Walking into Mandarin. Seeing how it works.
Legendary.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I it's cool. So successful interviews and interactions with users often follow some basic rules. Knowing some of these and understanding the anatomy of good need finding process will help you gain insights into people's needs and invent some need finding tools of your own. At the highest level, good need finding tools need good subjects, good environments, structure and flexibility, great stories, iterative designs. This is like so much like making documentaries.
I love that. I've never heard that particular connection to documentary. And
No, this is like exactly like making documentaries.
That's really
It's
cool.
like literally like one-to-one. Allow for silence. Respect your subjects. Damn. Observation. Viewing users and their behavior in context. You want to see users in their element and learn about their experience. There are several methods. Oh, damn. Deep hanging out. Spend time in the vicinity of the subjects. Yeah, this is
awesome. I feel like you're already doing it. This is just like many different fields.
But it's like cool because it's interesting to see the kinds of people that push the limit of this. Like one of my favorite examples, I think his name is Michael Desmond, but he wrote this book called Evicted. You can look it up. It's really good. There'll definitely be like a Wikipedia page about it that'll give like an overview of it. But he was trying to understand, I guess, like the housing crisis or something. Yeah. Is there like a synopsis of this book? About the book? Oh yeah, here. In Evicted, Princeton sociologist MacArthur genius Matthew Desmond, follows 8 families in Milwaukee as they struggle to keep a roof over their heads, hailed as wrenching and revelatory. Yeah. Is there like a Wikipedia page? Maybe that's like less bias. But anyways, this book was like really, really, really good. Like
That's
really,
awesome.
really, really good. Yeah, this is it. Poverty and Profit in the American City. It's a 2016 nonfiction book by American sociologist Matthew Desmond, set in the poorest areas of Milwaukee. The book follows 8 families struggling to pay rent to their landlords, many of whom face eviction. Through a year of ethnographic fieldwork, Desmond's goal is to highlight the issues of extreme poverty, affordable housing, and economic exploitation in the United States. He like lived with these people.
Yes.
Like when some of the scenes, he's like in a car with like people, and like it's just so good, man. Yeah, if you go back there for a sec to that Wikipedia page, if you go to the summary, Arlene Bell, a member of one of the 8 families Desmond documents, is a black single mother struggling to secure housing with her low income. Lamar, a black man who had lost both of his legs, has to look after a group of boys while burdened with debt. Scott, a white male nurse, struggles to pay rent in a trailer park while struggling with heroin addiction. The book is centered around the family's interactions with their 2 landlords, Sharina and Tobin. It's just such a fucking amazing book. This book is like so good. It's so good.
I'm really excited to read it. I
Yeah.
remember when it came out, there was a lot of press about it. Oh, it won the Pulitzer.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so happy I read this. And it like, what I really respect about this book is it set like a bar for me as to like what real immersion looks like.
Yes, that's
You
so
know?
cool.
And I really respect that. Like, I really respect people that are like willing to push the limit in terms of like immersion. So that's one example, right? Another example would be like Hunter S. Thompson, right? And like, so he started like gonzo journalism, right? And so what he would do is he would like go on these like kind of adventures, go on these missions for like Rolling Stone magazine. He also covered the like U.S. federal election at one point. But he would like take drugs and like just, you know, hit this like state, you know, where he was able to see things in a different way because of the way he was going through the experience. He could illuminate a truth that was like not as obvious if he wasn't writing in this way and having the kind of experience that he was having, right? Illuminating parts of the experience that are not obvious because he's like intoxicated, right? I just think that's interesting that he was willing to like push to that limit to see something differently. Yeah. Another example is just like obviously like Anthony Bourdain too. Like
yes,
you know,
classic.
just going to the source and like asking like questions and things like that. Yeah, it's like a repeating theme that I like really respect. And I always wonder about like how I can go like deeper into like closer to the source. I feel like I'm not even close to these like people. Yeah.
To the people who do this? Or
yeah,
to
like this is like so beyond me. Like this is like so much on like another level. It's so beyond anything that I've ever done, for sure.
What I find that interesting that you think that, because I think of ethnography and ethnographic methods as once you learn how to do them, they don't require a lot of resource, right?
It's not necessarily like
microbiology
it's
or
not
something.
necessarily resources. It's just like I think like really, really good design. I think like a really good map, really, really good understanding. It's directly correlated to your relationship with fear.
Say more.
Yeah, I think
What do
like
you mean?
there's this documentary called Grizzly Man. It was made by
Yes.
Werner Herzog.
I haven't seen it.
It's really
but I
good.
know.
It's like really good. And so this guy basically like lived with these like grizzly bears.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Here. Grizzly Man is a 2005 American. This is really good. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's by some people, it's considered like one of the greatest documentaries ever made. Grizzly Man is a 2005 American documentary film written and directed by Werner Herzog. It chronicles the life and death of bear enthusiast and conservationist Timothy Treadwell and his girlfriend Arnie Huguenard. at Katmai National Park, Alaska. The film includes some of Treadwell's own footage of his interaction with brown bears before 2003 and of interviews with people who knew or were involved with Treadwell. You can find a scene from this film if you want, but if you can like find like a good scene. But like he would like go to this place. I think he had to get a helicopter to drop him off there, and he would just like live there with bears and stuff. It was just him and these bears.
Okay,
right?
I see. I think I see what you're saying.
Right, and like I think at one point like he had like that little fox. If you go second row, this was like his friend. This became like his friend, and it's really interesting to think about why people do these kinds of things. Why would somebody feel the need to why would someone feel the need to do this? And so he's just filming himself. He's just on this remote place by himself. There's nobody else there. There's nobody. It's just him. And so he clearly sees something, right? He sees something that like other people don't see. And you know what I mean? It's driving him insane. He's driving him so insane that he's getting on this helicopter and he's going to this island, just dropping there. And look at him. He's filming himself. There's nobody there. And so I was going to say is like, I just think like, I really respect this. Well, I really respect this like level of like immersion.
Yeah. I'm Jane Goodall. Dr.
Yeah,
Goodall
exactly.
Like that too.
Yes. Right. And so, I think that's what I mean when I say like I'm not there yet, but I would love to get to that point in some way.
Okay. I think there's a subtle difference between what you're talking about and what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So what is it?
Well, I think that the tools of ethnography are really powerful, and they allow us to deepen our relationship to any context, including the ones that we think of as ordinary. Like that's why I was saying, you don't need to go to Egypt. Like you can do this in the Plaza.
Totally.
And that's what I'm personally interested in, is like, if we apply this method, it helps us see the world in a new way, and we don't necessarily need to go to Egypt or like go hang out with the brown bears.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're describing is like people who have a kind of almost spiritual vocation to go off the beaten path and record what happened.
I think it's part of that, but I think it's also just like having a high bar in terms of like immersion, right? So like when we were looking at this document for Needfinding, one of the things is like go into the place where things are happening and observe it and ask people questions.
Yes.
And I think anything, like even if it's like a plaza or if it's, you're just observing your own family or whatever it is, I think your ability to immerse yourself into that thing is correlated with how scared you are, because like you might not be willing to ask certain questions. You might not be, like you can observe a plaza, but are you willing to talk to the people in the like that are walking around the plaza that are like, right, are you willing to talk to them? Yes. Okay, then are you willing to talk to the owners? Okay, then are you willing to talk to the kitchen staff?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, are you willing to make shawarma?
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Are you
yes,
right?
yes,
Like
yes,
it's like how deep you're willing to go. And I find like the reason why I like to look at these references of these people that have gone really deep, it reminds me to like keep pushing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's two things I want to say about that. One is the turning point in the SunPower solar panel story.
Right.
So I told you earlier, they went through a lot of struggle reframing themselves and their value. The turning point for that was they had to get on the roof.
Oh.
Literally. Like the contractors were like, come into our world. Like, you don't understand. And they're like, yeah, we do. And they're like, no, you don't actually. Like, you don't know how hard it is to install these. Let us show you. And the physicists were like, okay. Like, they were like, low-key, like, how hard could it be?
Yeah.
And so then they went through basic training to not fall off the roof. And they literally like shadowed the contractors as they worked with these terrible, hard to install panels. And they were like, oh shit. Because once you're on the roof, it's so physically immersive. You're like,
100%.
Oh, this is so hard. Like, I'm fearing that I'm going to fall off. Like, I see how the way we designed it is not working.
Yeah.
And so something I always tell my students is like, figure out what your roof is and get on the roof.
That's good.
And I think the fear, what you're describing, I think the fear is not just, because when you watch Grizzly Man, you're like, of course that's scary. I might get killed by a bear.
Totally.
But I think the fear is often deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of existential dread. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, if I don't ask these questions, if I don't immerse myself, if I don't go extreme, I don't have to question my basic assumptions of reality and how it works.
100%.
You know, it's like, I think I know how the cooks work, or I think I know how the owner of this restaurant thinks, and that's part of foundationally how I construct reality. But if I really start listening, am I going to hear something that makes me question everything? And you have to be willing to do that to build really great maps.
Damn.
Because it's the people who are willing to see reality more closely without fear,
Yeah.
and with curiosity, who can then come back like Dr. Goodall and say, okay, I think our maps are wrong because I saw something that other people weren't willing to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right about the fear. I think there's a kind of like Sartre's nausea that you can have about it.
That's really good.
But it's fun when you do it with other people. Like I guess my suggestion is to never do it alone. Like I'm always doing this with my team.
Like why?
I just think that nausea can really make you go crazy.
What do you mean by nausea?
Oh, you know Jean-Paul Sartre, Nausea? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, maybe this is worth looking up.
Yeah.
A very famous existentialist writer, Jean-Paul Sartre, wrote this a novel called Nausea, in which he describes this protagonist who has this weird thing happen to him, where one day he kind of just sees it.
It? Like a being?
No, the way I would describe it is like the reality our reality doesn't fundamentally have meaning in it.
Oh.
You know, it's like it's kind of spiritually empty, or like the things that there's no God, there's no inherent meaning.
Damn, that
It's all
sounds
just
cool.
we're kind of lonely out here. And when you see that, the reaction that the protagonist has is nausea, because you're like, I want to throw up. You know, it's like I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. Like I saw behind the curtain of reality, and I saw that there's no one there, and there's nothing there. Anyway, this is part of like the existentialist philosophy, right? I don't know that I necessarily believe this, but this was like a major moment in the history of philosophy.
The novel takes place in Beauville, literally mud town. It comprises the thoughts and subjective experiences in a personal diary format of Antoine Roquentin, a melancholic and socially isolated intellectual who is residing in Beauville ostensibly for the purpose of completing a biography on a historical figure. Roquentin's growing alienation and disillusionment coincide with an increasingly intense experience of revulsion, which he calls the nausea, in which the people and things around him seem to lose all their familiar, recognizable qualities. Sartre's original title for the novel before publication was Melancholia. Holy shit. That's a really hard subject to write about.
Yes.
Holy.
Yes.
That's
so
like level of difficulty of that would be like crazy high, no?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that Sartre did a wonderful job staying with the embodied experience of coming to realize that reality is kind of groundless. Like that is very hard to write. If someone told me, "Oh, Michelle, right," I'm like, "No." Like, what's the plot? You know, the plot is like he walks around, he tries to go to the library, he like looks at people's faces. He's like, something's wrong. It's very beautifully written though. Like Sartre's an excellent writer. Anyway, I'm not trying to say that I necessarily believe in existentialism personally. I think there's so much it can give us though. And the whole point of bringing up nausea is when you're moving from one framework of the world to a new one that hasn't been made yet, you have to jump over the abyss. Totally. And the abyss sucks. And I do think it's much safer and more enjoyable to do that process with other people.
Yeah.
Because at least you have each other. You're like holding onto each other, a life raft, as you're going from big boat to big boat of meaning, you know?
I think also the other thing is that when you jump over, if you're trying to do something that requires you to kind of rethink a lot of the way that you see the world, it's cool to do it with other people, because then like you don't lose all meaning. Because like
at least you have each other, right?
Yeah, you're just like, hey, we're doing this thing. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna make sense, but like, man, we're doing it together. So when you jump over it and you're just like, fuck, holy shit, I can't believe we did that. Damn, where's this going? What's the point of this?
I feel you all are doing that here at New. Like
Thanks.
I think your relationships with one another,
Yeah.
the kind of brotherhood
Yeah.
that I see going on. Because when I first encountered this
Sisterhood
space,
too. We got some.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm here. When I first encountered New Stadium, I was like, how is this here?
Like, what do you mean?
I can't believe there's a space that feels like this in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, because the Toronto that I knew had a lot less patience for ambiguity and for emerging things.
Yeah.
And if you look around, most of what's in Toronto, like, knows exactly what it is. You know, I'm a Mexican restaurant. That is
Yeah.
what we do. You know,
Yeah.
or like, this is a gallery. We sell art.
Yeah.
There's very few spaces you can go into in this city that are like, I don't know what we're up to. Come
Yeah.
and find out. It's like, what? That felt really significant to me. And I think probably, I would guess, one thing that makes that possible for you all is your relationships with each other. Like, imagine trying to do that by yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just like a workload thing, right? It's like you don't have to face the nausea because at least you make sense to each other.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Wait,
These guys are-
sometimes you make sense to each other, or sometimes you feel the nausea, or what?
Sometimes we make sense to each other. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're
I
moving through this
see.
process, and like
Sure.
no one knows like what we're doing or why we're doing it.
Yeah.
But you figure it out over time, right? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
things, you try things and see what makes sense. Just a one note, like, I feel like it's really interesting when you think about like restaurants and how they define themselves.
Yeah.
So I found like the best Korean fried chicken in the Greater Toronto area, and it's at this place called Sushi and Sushi.
No.
So if you look at Robbie, I gotta take you to
That's
this place,
funny.
man.
Where is that?
Look up Sushi and Sushi.
Yeah, I feel like we should pull
Mississauga.
that up. That feels like a very
Sushi.
practical life reference for the
Sushi in Sushi in Mississauga. You gotta type Mississauga. Good luck trying to find this like that. Yeah, there it is. Never mind.
there.
Top one. I think this is it. Can you see like an exterior shot? Yeah, I think this is it. Is there? Yeah, this is it.
Wow.
So this place, I went there over the weekend, and this place has amazing Korean fried chicken.
That's so cool.
I'm pretty sure the sushi might be kind of ass. No disrespect like to the Korean people running this place. But I haven't tried it, but yeah, I absolutely
Yeah. People are talking about the Korean fried chicken.
look at that.
Wow.
It's good. Garlic butter fries. Hidden gem right there. Hidden gem. Their Korean fried chicken is truly next level. To avoid confusion, it is inside the sushi restaurant. Got a small, would seem pricey at first until we got the portion. It's good, man. It's good. This is good. This is good Korean fried chicken.
That's awesome.
But they don't know what they are, you know?
Well,
Like the Korean fried chicken's at the back of the menu. You know, it's at the back of the menu, and it's all Koreans in there. And I think that I don't know if there's like a good from what I'm hearing, there's not like a good Korean food scene, or it's not as good as like places like New Jersey and stuff like that or whatever. But maybe but I don't know, I think that can change. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that, but my friend, he's like a Korean guy, and like he took us here, and he's just like, man, I'm trying to find good Korean fried chicken. I can't find it, but this spot's good, man.
that's awesome.
He's like, this is like my recommendation, and it's awesome because it's literally beside this gas station in
That's so
Mississauga.
great.
It's the best.
This is such a good Toronto metaphor.
This,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I think we've got
There's
great things, and I feel like what we often lack is the
Look at this
discernment
place.
to see, to know what.
Is good.
Yeah, what is
This
good.
is good.
Yeah.
Look at that sign, sushi. That's where you got to go to get good Korean fried chicken.
Man, that explains so much.
Yeah, so yeah, Royal Lube is there if you need a quick oil change. You know, get some gas, get the soy, whatever it's called. The soy garlic chicken. I think it's right here. There you go. Look, it's attached to the Royal Lube place.
Wow.
This is the spot. This is the spot. They got ample parking. Look at that. You just park up. Sushi. It says, look at the name of it. It says sushi in sushi, Japanese and Korean.
That's awesome.
So my theory is that I think more people in this area like Japanese food than they like or know of Korean food.
Yeah.
But they know their Korean food bangs.
Yeah,
they just know it's good.
totally.
But they're trying to run a business, you know?
Totally.
So they're like, we have sushi. We got sushi. We got sushi, and we got Japanese food.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, but if you look at the back of the menu.
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, I do notice a lot of that in like Toronto, where it's like, yeah, you got to know who you are. And if anything like ambiguous, it's like, you know, define it. What is it? What are you working on? What is it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, I guess, because like everything I work on is kind of like in definition always. I didn't really realize that there was any other way of like working on things.
What do you mean in definition?
What I mean is that most of the things I work on, the reason I work on them, I always start with a question. So it comes back to like documentary, right? If you're making a documentary and you already know the answer, well, why the fuck are you making the documentary, right? It's like it's also the story sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just at this point it's just like propaganda,
right?
Right. That I find is super annoying. That I find really annoying. It really bothers me. It really, really bothers me.
When you can tell the documenter person.
It's not just documentary. It's just all projects when they do that shit. It bothers me a lot.
When they know what they're trying to say.
Yeah, there's like, you already know what they're trying to say. They're doing the project to say the thing. It's weird.
Can you give me an example?
I think you see it a lot in like politics.
Like where politicians are
it's
telling
like
their constituents.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to save the country. This is what we're going to do. And it's like, is that shit even going to work? It bothers me a lot. Yeah.
I feel like you're talking about certainty as a currency.
It's like the same thing. It's like a physicist, right? He's got his it's like the physicist who made the solar panels. You know, they worked out like a physicist who made a more effective solar panel. They work out this amazing technique, nanosurfacing. They study in school. You know, they got their desktop all lined up. Whatever, they're using Obsidian or some shit wherever they're writing on. You know, typing on their ThinkPad and stuff like that. And it's like, the person's like, here's how we're going to design solar panels. Here's how we're going to change the world. Here's what it's going to be. And you can just tell. It's just like, you can just tell. It's like, I can just tell by looking at them. I'm like, where, like, it's the same thing. It's like, where are the solar panels going to be installed? You know, you're so quick with it on the ThinkPad. You're great, man. The way you're like moving around that little red nipple thing that's in the middle of the keyboard. You're great, man. Design. You're great with it, man. It's amazing. You're so fast. You know, you type like 120 words per minute. It's incredible. But I can just tell when I look at them, when they strap on their boots, when they stand on the roof. You know what I mean? Like they haven't been, they're just going to be shaking up there. They don't have that, like, they don't have that strength, the foundation, right? They're going to slip. Yes. Right? They've been wearing dress shoes.
Yes.
Right? They gotta go to the store first to buy the fucking boots. Right?
Yes.
And so for me, I don't like when I can see that there's that gap. I don't like it. It bothers me. And I think it's like I think it also bothers me because I don't think it's that difficult to use a process where you start from trying to understand something before you go and propose and design a solution. I don't think this is like difficult. You know, I think it's very basic actually. Right? I think it's I think it's a very basic and simple thing. Right? That it's like start from a place of understanding and just make your decisions and make your design based on that. Right?
Yes. I think from a philosophical perspective, one of the difficulties is we sometimes struggle to admit that ordinary people can produce real knowledge.
But that's absurd.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like in a company or in an organization.
I get what you're saying, and I really appreciate your perspective of like looking at it from that way. And I get it. And I think it's like important to step back and look at these things. But then another thing is just my honest reaction, right?
For sure, yes.
And I'm just saying honestly, I think that's fucking absurd. I think that's insane. It's an absolutely insane thing to assume that, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. Right? Like how is that possible? Of course, there's no such thing as an ordinary person.
Yes. I completely agree with you. I feel though that ultimately it feels to me like what people often need or what organizations often need is a safe container.
Right.
And they need to feel like you have enough certainty that they can trust you,
Yeah.
that you can buy your uncertainty. Like, I feel like you and I can have this conversation and it would be fine if we said
Yeah.
to each other, gosh, you know, Vin, like, I just don't know. And then you'd be like, great, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
I think if you're working with an organization, or I would say most other people maybe don't have that level of comfort
Yeah.
with the ambiguity.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that's helped me in my own life and practice is learning to be more specific about where I am certain and where I'm not certain. Because
Right.
sometimes people need just a token of certainty.
Totally.
Like when people were asking me how about my workshop that I just did in New,
Yeah.
what I would tell them is, look, I can't guarantee that the theories that I'm presenting are going to be the most like academically robust. However, I can guarantee that you're going to have fun.
Right. 100%. Fun is important.
Yeah, but I think that was helpful for people to be like, and it was helpful for me to be able to be authentic about there are parts of this that I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
But then there are other parts that I am sure about. And I have to be able to give people the part that I am sure about too. Because imagine if I was like, oh, this whole thing is an experiment. I don't know. Should you come? It's like, they're not going to come.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I showing up for
Totally.
this? It's Toronto. You know,
Yeah.
this is not a different place where we can traffic in uncertainty necessarily.
Yeah.
I think people need something they can hold on to.
Yeah.
And I think part of being honest about where we live and what it means to resonate with this culture is learning how to give that token of certainty.
Yeah.
So
I
we-
agree with that.
You know, so we buy
Yeah.
ourselves the room to have our uncertainty.
Yeah. I agree with that. There's also another part of me that like, I think, my process, the way that usually works is I kind of got to get like a little upset first.
Okay.
Just not like a lot, but a little bit.
When you're making something,
Yeah. Like when I'm
you
trying
need
to
to
find
get a little upset.
I think so. Yeah.
What are you upset at?
I think I have to be like a little frustrated.
At,
A system, a particular problem,
oh, you're like, this is so shitty. I can make something better.
something like that. Not necessarily just like that, but yeah. Like for
Can you give me an
example,
yeah,
I think like when you're trying to like, at least for me, like when I'm trying to change something or when I'm trying to really get into something, right? In order for me to have the energy and the commitment required to get into something and to do something very difficult, I can't pursue something very difficult if I'm not charged in some way, if I don't care about it in some way. I have to
Yeah.
care about it
that makes
because
sense.
it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, I
Right.
don't know, it could take like multiple years. I'm gonna have to grind
Yes.
through this. I'm gonna have to make sacrifices. You know what I mean? I have a family. So like, I don't know, I'm not gonna see my family as much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, people are gonna be counting on me. I'm taking
Yeah.
on responsibilities. I'm working harder than I already am. All of these things are sacrifices that I have to make every single day when I decide to take on a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to take on a responsibility, I gotta like care. If I don't care about it, I'm not gonna do it. Right?
Okay, but
then-
how does care become like frustration?
Care becomes frustration when I see that the map is wrong, like the way that people are approaching it is wrong or it's ineffective, and then it has to bother me enough for me to want something for me to do something about it.
Okay, I see.
Not only does it have to bother me, but it has to bother me so much because it has to, the amount it bothers me has to increase over time because I have to realize that no one else is going to pursue this thing in the way that I think it needs to be pursued
Right.
outside of me doing it now. Right. And so that the frustration has to be built over time. So in my career, I've like been able to notice a pattern when I have like the right amount of anger or the right amount of frustration. The way I think of my creative process is kind of like a cocktail. It's like an energy. I like a certain kinds of mix of energies. When I, in this cocktail, it's like a little bit like some empathy, some a little bit of like some anger, some humor. It's all got to be mixed in a certain like, certain kind of distribution. When it changes, if it's too casual, it's not good. If it's too serious, the work sucks. When I'm too serious, my work sucks. I have to be like a little bit funny. If I'm not angry enough, it loses its sharpness. I'm not willing to say the things that need to be said when they need to be said. Right?
Wow.
So it's like really important. And over time, I've gone used to like when I call it like I'm in the pocket, right? When I got all the right ingredients, right? And so for me, like, yeah, I'm pretty frustrated with a lot of things in Toronto.
Do you feel like this is a way of working that?
Yeah, 100%.
No, I was
Yeah.
going to say that more people could benefit from, or do you think it's just for you?
I think it's like it's just part of like understanding who you are as a person, and it's like embracing who you are in your play style. I think it's like, it's dumb of me to mute any side of myself when it's like, for me as like a creative person, it's about understanding who I am and like using these things. So when I was younger, this frustration would come out in different ways. Maybe it would just be like pure frustration, or like, maybe if I'm like in class and telling a teacher, like, you don't know what you're talking about kind of thing. Crude expressions, like, no technique, no skill. I'm feeling something, but I can't convert it into something meaningful because I don't have enough skill. As I gotten older, I've learned how to take these things, these patterns I recognize, these things that I react to, and convert them into useful creative projects, and how to do that effectively, like with good technique, right? And so, I can tell. So it's like a pattern. I get frustrated, but I can't get too frustrated, because if I get too frustrated, the work sucks. So it has to be funny. So I know when to let go and just make something funny. It's not the time to be angry anymore. It's the time to be funny. But it's this process. It's this process. So, for example, you mentioned something really important, which was, you said that when you view the world a particular way, if you go and you try to really dive deep and understand someone's perspective, it's scary because it might might challenge and dismantle the way that you already view the world. And who wants to do that? Right. Why do you want to do that? You have these like ideas and characters and symbols and beliefs and stories that you've told yourself, and that's how you justify living the way that you live. Why would you want to stop that? Right? Well, the reason I do it is because I'm just frustrated enough. I'm so frustrated that I'm willing to go, I don't care anymore. The frustration has outweighed my attachment to any of my existing identity. I don't care anymore. All I care about is that there's this thing that I just need to understand. And there's this like splinter in my mind, or this thing that it's just driving me absolutely crazy until I understand what it is. And so that's a lot of why like I'm working on this like Toronto stuff, right? But it also comes from like a different thing, or like the kind of question that it really started, that became very interesting to me over the last, like, I don't know, a few years, even before we started experimenting directly in Toronto, was what is the extent to what I can do with just a MacBook Pro, my talents, and an internet connection? That was like the first prompt. I wanted to understand what that was. Like, how far does that go? I don't just mean like making an app or something. I just mean like really like how far does it go?
Yeah. The app is just the beginning, I would assume. Yeah.
It's like, that's some software you can make on a computer, but like what, like how far can you really push that? What does it mean to understand the planet as an interrelated system of like the ocean, countries, I mean like these land masses? What does it mean? What is the role of humanity on this like planet? What is this planet? It's this kind of like vehicle that's barreling through the air around like this sun. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? And then how does that inform the way that I'm using a personal computer? What does that mean? Do I understand the oceans enough in order to make software effectively? Do I? I don't think so.
God, I love that.
Right? And so like that's how it started. And then it started to evolve over time as I continued experimenting to a question, which was like, what does it mean to create large-scale systemic change with just your friends and some computers, essentially, right? Like, what does it mean? What is a system? How does it work? How do you understand all the components of the system? What are the different incentives that drive a system? What does it mean to affect a system? Has that ever been done before? How is it done? And then Toronto became like this interesting kind of like prototype system, right? Because it was like, you could root it, like, as I said before, you could root it like on this, like the whole planet. Sure. You factor that in. How does the planet work as an interrelated system? But maybe I don't have enough skill to do that. Maybe I'm just not skilled enough to really understand the earth as a system. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe one way to understand the way a system works is to kind of, narrow it down into something called Toronto, right? And what is Toronto, right? How malleable is it? That was another question I had, which was, how malleable is the system? And a hypothesis that I had, because so many people were saying like Toronto sucks or this or that, they were like complaining about it. My theory was that Toronto as a system is more malleable than people think it is. That was my hypothesis. I wanted to validate that, whether it's true or not. There's like this Stewart Brand like pace layering thing. You heard of? Yeah, Robbie, if you can pull that up for sure. It's like this pace layering diagram where he basically creates this diagram that outlines like the rate of change across different aspects of like life, I guess I would say. At the bottom, his first image there. Yeah, so at the bottom is nature, culture, governance, infrastructure, commerce, and fashion. And the arrows here represent like how dynamic these like layers are, how much they can change, how flexible they are. So nature is like the most difficult thing to change, then culture, then governance, then infrastructure, then commerce, then fashion. And yeah, I think about this thing a lot, and I'm still trying to understand what it is, but I wondered, like, when you look at something like this is like a diagram that means a lot of things, that means a lot to people. And I'm not sure if it's correct.
Why not?
Because I haven't really validated and tested it for myself.
I see.
And
what do you think might be wrong with it?
I don't know if like culture is as like strict,
as far down.
And the other thing is that with Toronto specifically, right? One thing that I was noticing, and it's the same thing with this diagram, right? This diagram, it's saying like, it's from this guy, Stewart Brand. He's like iconic, right? He's like incredible work, Whole Earth Catalog, right? Like incredible work. So when he creates something like this, it's like, this is how things change. At least that's my perception.
Saying it feels definitive.
Feels definitive, right? But, and I mean, I bet you if I talked to him, he would say like, no, I don't know, maybe it's not definitive, right? But
I don't know. Yeah,
who knows, right? But like, I look at this and I think like, it's one just very fascinating it's a very fascinating diagram that he's obviously clearly thought about these different layers so much that he's like mapped out this little diagram that makes sense in his mind. It's like a little map for him. I think it's amazing. But another thing is I always look at things like this and I ask myself, is this true? Right? Because I just got to see it for myself. I just got to know.
Okay.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah. I respect that.
Yeah. And then, in Toronto, right, it's the same kind of pattern where people will tell me how the place is. This is how it works.
Yeah.
This is how it's in. And I'm just like, is that true? Is that actually how it works? And so I think like I have a hypothesis that let's say if you were to look at this diagram and apply it in an environment by environment basis.
Like different cities?
Different cities, let's say, as an example, right? I would say that they wouldn't all have
the same stack.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the same stack. They would not have the same stack. And I think like when I look at Toronto, my hypothesis is that it's more malleable across every single layer, right? Maybe not nature, but
You're
like
saying the layers maybe are all faster than they appear here?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by malleable?
Yes, and more dynamic and more pokeable and more changeable.
Interesting.
Right?
I feel like first of all, I love this diagram.
Yeah.
And also I like how low down culture is.
Yeah, why?
Because
that's the part I dislike about it most.
I know. Because I think that's a blind spot we often have, is that we're often so deeply within culture that we don't see it. That we think, we're in a blank canvas.
Right. But
I actually do think Toronto has some very deep cultural values that have informed our governance, infrastructure, commerce, fashion.
Yeah.
Which is different from saying it's not malleable.
Right.
Like, I actually think that if you can understand the cultural code of this place, you've unlocked a way to make things super, super malleable, actually.
Right.
But it has to obey the code of the place.
Right.
And otherwise, I feel that you're going to run into walls a lot. That's my intuition. I don't know.
Right. Huh.
And I would say that if you experience yourself as acting upon the city, you're probably tapped into that cultural code, is what I would say. Like, I actually do think culture is down there, personally. But I like what you're saying about the stacks maybe being different. I think that's fascinating. Like, I've never heard anyone talk about this diagram that way, actually.
Yeah, I think that I think the reason why the culture element bothers me a little bit, especially in context of like where we live, is because I think like there's this maybe it's fashion, maybe when I'm talking about it falls into the fashion category, I don't know. But I've noticed this kind of like divide. It's this divide of like I feel like the narratives about this place are not, they're like out of date.
Oh, I completely agree.
Right?
Yes.
And so I think what happened
Constantly.
Yeah, and I think like, well, I think specifically, I think like there was like actually like a big gap that happened. So when I came here, like when I was born in North York, but when I was growing up, I should say,
Okay.
and like my parents came here, like there were certain kind of like Canadian narratives, you know,
Like
there's like the typical stuff, maple syrup, like beavers and shit,
okay.
playing hockey.
Got you. Yeah.
Like, and also just like the politeness, and also I think like over time, as I started to grow up, there was this new kind of like cultural element or new narrative element, which was like diversity,
Yes.
right? That came into play, that
Yeah.
we are a place where different people can get along. But I feel like what happened was during that time, there were like immigrants that came here and they fucking like did a lot of shit. They built a lot of this area into what it is. You know what I mean? One of the best things about Toronto, this is why I keep talking about the food. It's like, it really bothers me that people don't know about the food here. Like it really bothers me.
Who do you think doesn't know about the food?
I don't think
like
it's like
other people.
No,
coming
I think like a lot of people know about the food, but I don't think it's like celebrated. I think like if you went around the world and you're like, hey, is Toronto's food better than New York City? People would be like, oh, well, Toronto has good food.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
I get it. Like, you know, and like I know, and like our friends know for sure, right? It's like, yeah, everyone knows the food's good.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but has anyone told the story of this? Like when you look at somewhere like New York City, right? I really respect the way they do their like storytelling in that space because it's so like rich and it's so multifaceted. It's like not only like do you have like broader stories of New York, right? It's like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, right? You know, the Big Apple, like you've got like Frank Sinatra and stuff, and like what he's done, right? And it's like you have these huge like these broad strokes, top level kind of like stories that anyone can hook onto. But then as you go deeper into it, right? Even like Queens has its own stories. You know, Brooklyn has its own stories, right? And it just like it's like it's just I really respect that. Right? I really respect that because it's like what they're doing is they're celebrating their culture. And so when I look at here, I'm like, it bothers me a lot when there's not that nuanced storytelling about the food, because it's the thing that it points at like it's like a thing that points at the problem, at least the way I see it. And maybe I'm just like someone who's frustrated about this and I don't want to communicate it effectively or something, but I really am bothered by this. And like, the gap that I see is that it was like this culture, it was like this one way, right? But we didn't update Canadian culture with this, like with what this is, like with these plazas, the fact that there's like, you know, these incredible restaurants that are just like beside each other, right? We never updated that story, right? I don't know why we don't talk about this. Like there's like, I have friends that are like Vietnamese and they can go into an Indian restaurant and say if it's good or not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right? Like there's like so much nuanced understanding of like these different cultures. Right? Where's the best jerk chicken? Don't even need to ask a Jamaican person.
Right.
In this city. Right? And so but that I don't like that hasn't been like properly captured. And like I feel like in my opinion, it hasn't been properly captured and like updated with the narrative. It's like this divide. Right? And that really bothers me because you'd have to be a moron to not see it. Just fucking get in your car and drive anywhere. It's all you see. It's everywhere. This is Canada. This is what it is. You know what I mean? It just bothers me. And then even the word like when you start breaking down like words like Toronto or words like Canada, right? It's like what exactly does that mean? in the sense that like when I think about Toronto, I don't think about the city. I partly do.
What are you thinking about? Like the GTA?
No, I think about like the way in which I'm interacting with this problem set.
Like what you're doing with
new and with exactly.
Podcast.
Yeah, the podcast and all this kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so like I'm trying to understand it from that perspective. I don't know if that's making sense, but like
yeah, no, it really is.
Yeah. I don't because as soon as I think of it as a city, then I start adopting everyone else's perspectives.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I start adopting everyone else's perspective, and I've tried this before, what I realized is I start adopting everyone else's perspective, and then I move down the line and I realize I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. And it's not making any sense.
Yeah. Because it's not connected to reality at the base level.
Yeah, exactly. It's not connected to reality at the base level.
Yeah.
And then so the most, and people might be listening to this and being like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, what, he's talking about some conceptual understanding of Toronto. Okay, well, here's a simpler way of understanding it. Take the word Canada. People are like, this is our country. Canada's our country. Well, what does that mean? Have you been to anywhere in Canada outside of like the GTA? Do you know what that is?
Right.
It's the second largest country in the world, where 95% of the landmass is uninhabitable. Everyone's fucking huddled at the bottom, right? And there's like 3 or 5 Vietnamese restaurants in Yellowknife, right? Like it's like, why? Like that's like literally what Canada is. It's this massive fucking landmass, and we've never had to protect the top of it because it's like this Arctic thing, right? It's weird. It's like a really, really weird place.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
And so, but we just throw it around. It's like, I'm Canadian. I'm from Canada. Right. And it's like this, and the problem is when you don't have that, like, if you don't start from understanding this stuff, like right from what it is, I think it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. And I feel like none of this is factored into the way that we talk about the general kind of discourse that I see about Canada and about the GTA and about like what's happening and what's not happening. I wish, maybe it's not realistic, but I wish that there was like a more shared understanding of reality of who we are and what this is, right? I wish that existed. I wish that like more people were like, hey, if you're going to build a condo in Toronto, yeah, go ahead and build it, but just don't fuck with the food. Don't fuck with the food, right? Like when you have like COVID and stuff like that, when you're thinking about who to bail out, who to not bail out, don't fuck with the food, right? If the Jamaican spot, the Vietnamese spot is like keep them open. Why? Because it's the foundation of what this place is. It's the fucking right. It's like,
okay, I see.
Right. It's like go as you go. It's like how we interact and how we like mix, how these cultures mix together. Right. I just feel like there's no it bothers me. I don't know if you're following me there, but yeah.
No, I feel like I'm completely following you.
Yeah.
There's a lot I want to say about this.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying when we're trying to update our narrative about a place, one of the fundamental pieces that has to be in place, it's going to sound like Captain Obvious, but it's a group of people who are listening.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, at least in Toronto, I can't speak for all of Canada, we're not very good at listening to one another.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we need to change to make what you're describing happen.
Okay.
I think part of the cultural water of being at least Torontonian, but I think certainly Canadian, is this idea of politeness.
Yeah.
But I think part of politeness, and I talk about this in my workshop actually, is also this value of privacy.
Like, what do you mean?
We have this kind of like, why are we able to be so multicultural and so diverse here in Toronto? And you have different neighborhoods, ethnic neighborhoods that can just exist side by side. And it's extremely impressive. You know, it's like, are these people not getting into fights with each other?
Yeah.
Like they're not though.
No, they're not.
And I think one reason why we're able to do that uniquely on this planet is because we have this shared cultural value of privacy.
Privacy. Interesting. I've never heard someone say that before.
And I think the way it manifests is there's a kind of like, you do you and I'll do me. Like you've got your backyard, you know, it's like, okay, you live in Little Italy, like you'll do your Little Italy thing.
Yeah.
I'm from Koreatown, we'll do Koreatown things.
Yeah,
and like we have this shared understanding of like, let's not incur upon people's space.
Yeah.
And let's let people do their own thing, and let's try not to be too nosy or too involved. And at a systems level, it produces enormous diversity. Because if everyone agrees to behave that way, we can get these amazing little neighborhoods that are so different from one another. And you don't have them behaving in kind of colonial ways to one another, right? You don't have Koreatown being like, you all should be like me, right? The neighborhoods are very well behaved. But one, I think, consequence of this is that we're not good at paying attention to one another.
Right.
It sometimes feels, this story happened to me.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
at Union Station, and there was this mom. It was just her. I don't know if she was a single mom in life or if she was just the only caretaker in that moment. And she had a kid who was having some sort of meltdown, like, just like yelling and having a bad time. And so that's going on in the corner as I'm waiting for my train. And then I hear her yelling at the mother, yelling at someone else, going, "Why are you standing there just staring? Have you never seen an autistic kid have a meltdown before? Jeez."
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay, this mom, having a bad day, I completely understand. And later I was unpacking this moment, like, that is so fascinating what happened. Because someone was probably just staring at her.
Yeah.
And she perceived that as an attack, right? She was like, stop staring at me. Like, I deserve to not be stared at, or like my kid deserves not to be stared at. And I was like, that would never happen in New York. Like, everyone stares at you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not
constant.
You just expect it.
Yeah.
And it made me think about the difference between, people always say Torontonians are so nice. And they're always like, in comparison, Americans are not as nice. And I was just recently in New York, like a month ago. And I was like, that is not my experience. New Yorkers are really nice.
Yeah.
But they're nice in a very specific way, which is, in New York, it's very John Stuart Mill, liberty, pursuit of happiness. And the understanding, the story about New York City is that we're all here to hustle and achieve the highest version of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We're all here to like get what we want at the deepest level. So if that is the story about the city, you are constantly encountering other people's desires in the city, and they wear them on their sleeves. So if someone wants to cross the street, like, they're crossing the street. If someone wants to cut you off, they're like doing it. If someone wants to become famous, because they're just wearing it on their sleeve. And I actually think, I promise this will come back, what this produces at a systems level, you're constantly encountering other people's desires, and then you learn to have theory of mind. Like, you learn to look at someone and be like, oh, I know what you want, just by looking at them. And what that produces is actually, Matthew, if you're listening, Matthew was recently in New York City, Matthew Jordan, and he was carrying like a piece of furniture down the street, and someone was sitting on the stoop, and just a random guy, like in his 20s. And this guy sees Matthew carrying furniture, total strangers, goes, "Hey, do you need help with that?" And Matthew's like, "Okay, sure." And so this guy walks him down the block and up all the stairs.
Yeah.
And helps him install his furniture. Like, we say we're nice in Toronto. I really don't think that would happen in Toronto. And the reason is we have this privacy value that isn't there in New York. The privacy value is like, if I see someone walking down the street, they seem to be struggling with something, unless it's completely obvious. Like, if they fall and need medical attention, Toronto's going to be there for you, for sure. Like, if it's extremely obvious, we will all help you. If it's at all ambiguous, I think we have this cultural habit of, I don't want to, like, it would be me imposing to assume that I know what they need.
Right.
And as a result, we don't really have as much theory of mind.
Right.
I don't know if you've noticed, like, Toronto is less dense than New York.
Right.
But I actually think when you walk on the street, people are more oblivious. Like, they, which is crazy. Like, there's more room, right? You'd think that we wouldn't run into each other more, but it's not the case. Because in New York, you have to constantly be like, okay, that bike wants to go, right?
Yeah.
If I don't recognize what other people want, I will get hit by a car or a bike.
Yeah.
So we are constantly paying attention to what other people want, and it leads to a kind of natural possibility of empathy. They're practicing their empathy all the time, because you need empathy to survive. Because I got to get out of your way, and you got to get out of my way.
Yeah.
And this was something that I went for a run. I was in Brooklyn along the water, and I kept putting myself in awkward physical situations because I would see someone and I would try to go around them, but they'd be trying to go around me. And I'd be like, oh, wow, I am used to people in Toronto not noticing their surroundings.
Yeah.
And me, the faster person, has to adjust. In New York, the slower person adjusts. Because they're like, you're running, I'm walking, let me get out of your way. Like, I see where you're going. You're going to go straight. They're going to assume you're going straight. And I was like, oh, right. I can just keep going straight because people will go around me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm saying all this is, and I'm not saying Toronto should be more like New York, but I'm just saying that one of the fundamental things I think we need to push on in our culture is we need to learn to pay attention to one another more. Because I actually think we tell ourselves it's polite not to do that.
Yeah.
That it's polite to be like, oh, Vin's doing his thing over there. Like, I don't really understand it. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to try to, unless he like formally invites me on his podcast. Now there's the script, like now I'm allowed to be here in a Torontonian sense, but I'm not going to like get up in his business. That would be rude. But in New York, people are constantly in each other's business. And I think it produces a kind of magic.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we have to be a little bit more in each other's business to even update our narrative. Because otherwise, if we have this value of privacy, it's like, okay, Vin has a new theory of what Canada is, but why should that update mine, right?
Yeah.
That's his version of Canada. I have my version of Canada.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, well, how do we create a collective? We have to rewrite some of we have to somehow figure out how to have a form of collective synthesis that is truly Canadian.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of our barriers is this kind of privacy culture.
That's really good. It's really good. I think you're right.
So anyway, that's my argument for why culture is there and not near the top.
Yeah, I
Sorry
think you're right.
I really believe it's kind of down there.
Yeah, I think that's just like an easy thing to flip, though.
You think we can move culture? So
I
that
think the
higher.
privacy thing is easy to flip. Yeah.
How? I'm really curious about that. Like that's something I'm trying to figure out.
I think I don't know. I think it's a weird thing to talk about, but I think it's like you just flip it. Like,
what do you mean?
So, if you see somebody walking down the street and they're carrying furniture, just help them out.
Okay,
Right.
you're saying be the change you want to see. Like you're saying as individuals. Is that
Sure.
No, that's what you're saying, right?
I think
You're
so.
saying
Yeah,
as
and I think like
we can act differently.
Yeah, and I think that not just as individuals, I think that kind of thing is like it's interesting. I think it's interesting to people.
Oh, you mean talking about it?
Not just talking about it. It's like okay, let's say that maybe this is like naive. Maybe this is naive. Maybe my skill is not enough here, but I'll just say what I honestly think.
Please.
So like
that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. Let's say some you mentioned like, oh, people are not paying attention to other people. You're basically saying in order to create great designs, in order to like make change, in order to do interesting things, in order for the city to do interesting things, we have to understand each other. We have to be aware of what each other is doing. We have to learn from each other because and we have to like reach out to each other, right? Because when you do that, it creates these interesting collisions, and these interesting collisions lead to like new projects, new ideas, new inventions, right?
Yes.
And so I think the way I see it is just maybe it is like a be the change, but I another way of looking at it is just like I think it's so lame to walk into a plaza and like go to the same spot that you always go to, and you're not willing to like jump out and try the thing, right? Like I think I get it. I get why people do it. But I think it's just like I just think it's lame. I just think it's lame. And I think like what I mean by that, well, like the reason why I'm saying it like that, and maybe this is not the right approach. And I'm not trying to say that there's not a reason why people feel that way. And then I'm not trying to say that and those reasons should not be factored into the design of any system. I think like that should be factored in. But what I'm also saying is that I can have my own opinions on what I think is a good system design and bad system design relative to what I'm seeing, right? And what I'm seeing is that there's plazas everywhere. It's not like this invisible thing. It's not like this thing where it's like, oh, maybe you should try that plaza or not. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. To not pay attention to it is absurd. It's like unacceptable. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to. Yeah. Keep going.
Right? It's like unacceptable, and I don't think everyone has to hold that view.
Yeah.
right? I don't think everyone does. I think different people can look at it from different perspectives. But I hold that view.
Yeah. And I think you holding that view,
you know what I mean?
Yes, has been the fuel for your internet persona.
Yeah.
But I think that's good, right? That's like
I think
from
so.
that place of anger of like, come on, open your eyes, people. You can produce a kind of culture that's trying to bring visibility to that.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge divide, though, between, I think this is not a problem, but this
Yeah.
is a reality.
Sure.
For many of us, our parents immigrated here.
Yeah.
And for the generation of people who directly immigrated here, for a lot of them, Toronto is like the place where the bad things that I came from are not there anymore.
Like, what do you mean?
Like if you're a refugee,
Yeah.
or if you're escaping a really unstable political situation,
Yeah.
when you come to Toronto, your narrative is, I've made it
Yeah.
because I'm no longer in that instability.
For sure.
You're not necessarily coming for a positive thing. You're not saying, here I am in this place with these positive qualities that are unique.
Yeah.
You're saying, thank God, here I am not in that bad situation I was in before.
Right.
And that leads to, let me go to the same place in the plaza over and over again behavior. And that's like, that makes so much sense. Like if that's your
Totally.
life story, right? You're like, wow, we escaped a war or something.
Totally.
Here I am. It's honestly paradise to go to the same sushi place every week with my family. I don't
Totally.
need anything else,
Totally.
you know, and I don't need to be living in a city where there's a narrative that I feel like, oh, it has, you know, that doesn't matter because what you're experiencing is the delta between where you came from and this place, which is
100%.
insanely amazing.
Yeah.
I think the next generation, I think that's also why a lot of your listeners are younger or they're like in their 20s or they're like us where it's like we were born here. And
Yeah.
for us, we don't have that same delta of,
Exactly.
you know, it's good enough that I've just escaped those bad instabilities. It's not good enough. This is all we've known. And I think perhaps the way the system changes is we start with the young people who are hungry for that
Yeah.
narrative. And we don't try to capture everyone, you know, like I think it's probably like the older folks who've lived in Toronto their whole lives, like probably don't need to update themselves on the plazas. But I think young people are really hungry for it. Like those are the people who showed up to the workshop. It's like most of these people didn't know me. And the reason they came was because they were like, oh my gosh, we're talking about Toronto. Like I need to do that somehow.
Right.
Because they feel the lack of that.
Yeah.
And so the plazas are part of it, you know?
Totally. I think that's what I meant when I said I have my own kind of definition of Toronto, meaning that it's like I'm not referencing the city as a whole, because for my it's interesting, and I'm trying to like reconcile this, but it's like when you describe that really good story of that family that comes in, and it's like, what's wrong with that? Go and eat go eat whatever restaurant you want.
That's great.
Like,
They've made it.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
that's a success story.
that's so amazing.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think it's like I guess what I mean is it's really important to understand their perspective. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
You know, I don't literally mean like, oh, they should go and try a new restaurant, but I just mean like it's useful to like understand their perspective and like see where they're like coming from. You know, I guess we're kind of saying the same thing, which is that I just wish there was like a higher baseline like bar of like of like how much people are understanding what's actually happening here and how well it's like documented and stuff.
I love that. That's such a clear articulation of your program, of what you're out here to do.
Yeah.
I agree. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel frustrated that you're having to do it?
Yeah, I think it's really stupid.
I see. Like you'd prefer to have inherited, like, or have other people on it.
Yeah, I just think it's like
You're
really,
like,
I think it's
why
just
am I
so
doing
odd.
this?
It's so odd to have to like tell people something so obvious. It's just really weird. You know?
Because you're like, why haven't you just figured this out?
It's
for
just so
yourself?
obvious. You just walk outside and look. This place is like, it's amazing. Like all of these like cultures, they're mixing together. Things are happening. It's weird. I haven't in this path so far.
Yeah.
I haven't really encountered, and I want to say this as like, I'm just speaking right now in terms of like my raw reactions, my raw articulation. If we were to step back, and I'm just giving like source material into like whatever, like imagine I'm just providing material into a design process. And I think that if I were to look at this as a designer, I would step back and I would look at every different perspective.
This being Toronto?
Of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Right. But I think that like in what I've been investigating, like so far in this path, different things I've talked about, I seem to see the same kind of problem over and over again, right? Which is what I see is just like a lack of vision. You know, like a lot of none of the problems that I've seen are like complex. Sorry.
That's so mean. But I agree.
Yeah, you know, like meaning like I know there's nuances and I know they affect like a lot of people, but a lot of times it's just at the end, like, it's what I end up seeing is just people who don't know what to do. It's just like there's a confusion and a lack of clarity around what to do.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
Like
yes.
I don't, like, for example, like let's say like the housing crisis.
Mm-hmm.
People can't afford a home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a couple that's like making $300K even between both of them. And it's like, I don't know, toss up. Should they buy a home or should they not buy a home? Right.
Totally. Yeah.
So it's like when you investigate like why that's happening, it's not because like we can't build homes. You know what I mean? It's because there's something about like the system and the incentives and all the people that are involved and everything like that is leading to this situation where it's like kind of hard to know what to do. You know, well, if we do this, that affects this person this way. If we do this and then we do this, well, we can't even do that because it's so hard to look up like these permits or these like zoning things. And the way we zoned it is not ideal either. And it's like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But none of these things are, it's not like investigating and finding like, you're not like hitting the limit of physics or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're just seeing this like mess where everything's like, no one knows what to do.
Yep.
Because there's nobody or no thing that can just be like, you know what, fuck it. It's not cool that people can't afford their homes. It's like fundamental to like self-actualization. You can't expect people to like change the world, build new technology that changes the world if they spend 80% of their time thinking about how they're going to pay for rent. It's just fucking unacceptable.
Yep.
So now we're going to look at the whole stack and we're going to say like, how does zoning happen? Fix this. How does this happen? Fix this. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's more of like, it's a vision thing. Right?
I don't think it's just vision.
Right.
I think that it's emergent effects that happen when you get Torontonians in a room with each other.
Like, what do you mean?
I think individuals can have vision,
Right.
but the second you enter into discussions with other people, our cultural values, I think, start to determine the script of how we talk to one another.
Right.
And we're unwilling to, like, I don't want to say lead, but the script, it's like, it's all about compromise and it's all about, oh, well, we can't take that from that person. So I guess let me take this extreme thing off my idea. And then by the end that you finish with that committee, the thing that's created sucks.
Yeah.
Because I even saw this happen in my first workshop.
Yeah.
Where I knew some of the people who would come and I was like, oh, these are very like extreme minded creative people.
Yeah.
But then in the workshop portion, you're supposed to work with the team of people you just met to create new ideas for Toronto.
Right.
And I was surprised by a lot of the ideas that came out because I was like, this is a good idea, but it's not as like extreme, innovative, crazy as I know that individual is capable of.
100%.
Like, this is not the best idea y'all could have come up with.
They're muting themselves a bit.
And why is that? It's because they're in a group and we do this like Toronto dance when we're in a group together. So it's like, even if the vision was there, we don't know how to relate to one another to keep that vision intact.
Okay.
It's like, I think it's something that's happening at the social culture
So how do you
level.
solve for that then?
I think we need to innovate ways of protecting powerful and challenging ideas that don't violate Canadian culture.
But what is Canadian culture?
Well, I think it's the politeness, it's the privacy, it's the stuff I'm talking about.
I see.
It's like, because it's easy to look at, well, how does Silicon Valley do it?
Right.
And I don't think, having spent almost 10 years there, and spending, 4 years here, I'm like, I don't think the answer is to import.
No.
It's never going to work anyway.
No,
it's like transplanting an organ, a different blood type or something.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think this is the big burning problem, is what is a sincerely Canadian way of creating excellent things. It's not going to look like, the Silicon Valley version is, oh, that guy's a genius, So even though he shows up and he hasn't showered and he's like sexist, we're going to go with these ideas because they produce billions of dollars. Like, that's never going to work here. Like, that's actually unacceptable. It's like, he should probably shower and he can't say that about women. Sorry. And we're not going to like empower that person with lots of money.
Yeah.
But we have to find our way of saying, this is a really good idea.
Yeah.
We need to protect it. we need to not dumb it down, cut off corners, like midify it, make it mid, you know.
Yeah.
But we need to do it in a way that's sincerely us.
One question is like, obviously not to like, it's like super fucked up. It's like, so if someone's like sexist or whatever, that's super fucked up. But like, say the dude walks in, he's like, or the woman walks in and they're like not showering or something, or they're kind of like eccentric or something in some way. In my life, I found that some of these like oddball characters, they do like the best shit.
Oh, I know.
So then how do you know what I mean? Like why is it mapping? I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah.
Why should that person have to conform to some like Canadian culture, you know?
I'm not saying that they should have to.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's going to be difficult for that person's ideas to have influence on the whole if they present that way, because of how the Torontonian public receives legitimacy. You know, like it's just going to be hard for those things to have uptick. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they should change. I actually, one of the things I miss the most about the Bay Area is there's so many spiky people, like the opposite of well-rounded, you know, people who are like, oh, you're like a 10x, 100x coder, but like you can't do your own laundry. Like I love those people. And, and I think that an ecosystem that supports them is like so cool. I think in Toronto, we can be a little too well-rounded actually, but that is how it is. Like, so I don't know. I think there's a balance between, can we push that culture?
Right.
But I also think that it's probably never going to be as extreme as it is like in the Bay.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I'm not saying this is the culture. Let's just bow down to it and conform.
No. I get what you're saying. I think what you're saying is that you have to factor in the reality of what this place is into what you're doing.
100%. And otherwise you'll be exhausted. Right. And that's what it was like when I first came back. I would make these events and I was like, oh yeah. And then they wouldn't go as well as I wanted them to.
Right.
And I would be so confused and upset.
Right.
Because it's like, well, I think this is really good. How come it isn't immediately being received? And now looking back, it's like, oh, because I wasn't playing by Toronto rules.
Right.
So if you're that 100x programmer and you're from the Bay, you're like, yeah, I'm used to people immediately being like, oh yeah, this person's valuable and here's a bunch of money to just like be you. Yeah. Then you come here. What? Like no one's even paying attention. Like, what am I? Is it me? And what I'm trying to say is it's not you.
No, for sure.
This is a very tough ecosystem because people aren't paying attention and they don't apply their discernment as like as a fundamental layer before they create resources or empower people, you know.
Right.
They're not like, wow, you're so amazing, I'm going to give you all this money to keep being you. That's a rare thing here. And what I'm trying to say is if that's you, you know, the most dangerous thing is to like internalize that. Am I not that great? Am I doing something wrong? Like, no, you just haven't, you're not speaking in Toronto code and it's not your fault. You know? Right.
But I'm just like, man, if I've been saying for me, for example, like I need to be around like spiky people or whatever. And I got to speak my mind. So it's like, why is it that when I'm speaking my mind, it feels like I'm speaking Toronto code? Why is that happening? Because as soon as I stop speaking my mind and I stop being spiky, I feel like everything I'm doing is less effective.
I wonder if you found a local pocket in Toronto culture that rewards that because people are so hungry for it.
Right. Like, but if people are hungry for it, how do you know that's not like a leading indicator of some broader change?
It might be, and I hope it is. Like this might be a generational thing.
Right.
Because if you were at Yonge and Dundas, just saying your spiky things, I think people would probably ignore you.
Yeah.
You know, they would be like, that's not what we do here.
Yeah.
But on Twitter, you're finding, and it's mostly young people who feel what we feel, where they're like, why is everyone so well-rounded and polite? And like, someone give me a hot take, please. You know. Yeah. And for those people, you're catching them. You know, you're collecting those people, and I think it's a very vital counterculture and scene that I see growing now that hopefully can come to have more influence over the whole eventually. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're touching on something.
Yeah.
That people need.
I wonder how we can I wonder what the extent of that is just in general.
That is a huge question because I think one of the things I notice about like New Stadium is that it attracts a certain kind of person.
Right.
And this is something I talk about with Tommy. It's like, have we tapped all of that kind of person that exists now?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But there's also probably some limit, you know?
Oh, I see.
Like what I'm trying to say is like, if you're trying to change the system of Toronto,
Yeah.
you probably need to do more than just speaking your mind and being spiky.
What do you think I can do to be a better designer, or like better at whatever I am? Like, based on, you've talked to me now, you've seen some stuff. What's some like feedback you have? What do you think I should explore?
What are you trying to improve? Like, tell me about a project that you would like to take to the next level.
I think that like I want to start exploring like more aspects of the system. I think like I have a little bit of a blind spot when I'm like, again, I'm communicating this way, like I'm streaming my mind this way on purpose, because I want to have a chance, if you're down, to like critique, and also,
yes, that's so important.
And to also just kind of like poke holes at the sides of me that I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I know what I'm saying is like one or two dimensional or something, right? In the sense I'm really like just streaming from my perspective. And so my question is just like, you said something really good, which was, you were like, hey, look, there's like this Toronto code, or there's this like there's these broader values, and you can't just disregard them if you want to, right? Yeah, I think you're right. And if you want to like make change, right? And especially if you want to like understand, if you want to like go and experiment in new places and try new things and like do projects that have more impact, you have to factor in these like values.
Yes.
And I know that in some ways I'm disregarding that on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on purpose because I'm trying to fix, or not fix, but I'm trying to speak to one element of this, which is that if you want to do interesting things, you need spiky people, you need rules, you need culture, a subculture. A subculture says we are this and we are not that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like any subculture. So that's when I'm speaking in this way, I'm speaking to the subculture that I'm a part of.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I see that.
Which is, but stepping off of that, I also recognize that there's limits to that, you know? So
yes.
What would you recommend? How do I go from where I am to like a next level of experiments?
Okay, here's my suggestion.
Yeah.
A counterintuitive feature of Toronto culture is that even though I think a lot of Toronto is very socially conservative,
Yeah.
we have extraordinary tolerance for radical behavior or groups of radical people as long as we feel that they're in their neighborhood. So like Hanlon's Point, right?
Yeah.
We've had a nudist, amazing gay cruising spot for decades. This is
Here?
one of, yes, Hanlon's Point.
Can I see this, Robbie?
Do you not know about this?
No, I didn't know.
Okay, you should be telling people about Plazas and Hanlon's Point.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is this like?
So this is like a historic nudist beach, queer space. It's very old. It's many, many decades old. Older than the vast majority of equivalents in the United States.
Wait, this is by Porter Airlines?
Yeah.
By Billy Bishop Airport?
Yeah, it's on the...
Have you been here?
I still haven't been to Billy Bishop.
No, I mean Hanlon's Point.
Oh, Hanlon's, yes. Yes.
You've been to this thing?
I've been...
Like naked?
No, so I haven't been, like, actually Matthew Jordan, his 12,000 Years of Toronto History, amazing course, highly recommend, took us to the Toronto Island. We didn't go onto the beach itself, but we were near it and hearing about the history. So that's as close as I've been to Hanlon's
Can I
Point,
read that text that you found on it? Yeah. Hanlon's Point is a beach and historic location on the Toronto Islands, famous as the oldest surviving queer space in Canada and one of the world's oldest, featuring Canada's first official nude beach.
Yeah.
Beyond its significance as a queer community gathering space, the area was historically home to Hanlon Point's amusement park and stadium. It is named after early settler John Hanlon. Wow. So what goes on here? People jamming?
Yeah, people are just nude and hanging out. And this is very, okay, it seems very not Toronto, right? You're like, how on earth do we have this?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, and this is connected to my suggestion for you, is I think you all, not just you, and this is like a challenge to anyone else listening, if you feel like really into this subculture that we're talking about, we need an ambassador of the subculture. And if you're speaking to people in Toronto who aren't immediately part of this counterculture,
Yeah.
The way you can talk about it is, hey, I represent a group of people in Toronto and we're
Right.
doing things in our own way. And like, this is our neighborhood. So like, if you're like that, come here. And because that's what we're like here. It's like Hanlon's Point. It's like, I know not everyone's a nudist, but
Yeah.
if you are, like, this is where we're doing our shit. This is our neighborhood. And we represent a group of people who really exist in this city. And that language of I'm an ambassador for a subculture that exists. We have carved out a space where we do our weird little thing and we know it's weird, but we're just doing it in our own little space.
Yeah.
If you like that, come check us out. The city responds to that because they're like, cool, it's like another little neighborhood. This is where all the weird tech systems thinking people go. I get it. And now all of a sudden you're legible at a city level.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's so cheesy to be an ambassador of a subculture.
Sorry. I mean, you don't have to do it. Someone's got to do it. If you want to achieve
but I think you're 100%
legitimacy
right.
Broadly, that's what you have to do. I mean, you don't have to. There are so many secret subcultures in Toronto because people don't necessarily do this actually.
But I think you're fully right.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're able to perceive that. Do you think that's a uniquely Toronto thing? That kind of like that there's like
I'm an ambassador for my
no.
neighborhood.
You had this really, really good way of describing it. You said this radical. You said we have a acceptance of like these radical groups as long as they do their own thing in their own little pocket.
Yes, that is so Toronto.
Really,
it's like, I love it and I hate it.
Yeah,
it's very special to this place.
Why do you not like it? Well, I mean, I guess it's against your core like design philosophy, right? In a sense that like it's just creating more gaps between people.
Yeah, there's a kind of so my favorite American city / maybe city ever, sorry Toronto, is Detroit.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Detroit is this quality it has that I and other people there have called Detroit magic.
Yeah.
And what Detroit magic, you can almost think of it as like a spiritual nervous system. And I wish an anthropologist would do a study on exactly the mechanisms of Detroit magic, but the way it works is if you really sincerely want something in your heart and you're a good person, somehow the city puts you in the room with the right people. Like it just weirdly happens for you.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it really, I remember like wanting to do more performance poetry when I was there. I went to a random open mic. I had looked up the Detroit Poetry Society online, couldn't find much about them. I go to this one open mic. The president of the DPS is there, and we end up improvising together on stage.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that's him. And then afterwards, Sheezy is his name. He like introduces himself to me and he's like, I'm the president of the Detroit Poetry Society. I was like, I was literally looking for you. Like I manifested you. And that's just one story of how that happens in the city. Now, I'm not going to speculate about why that is and how that happens. But when a city operates that way, when it is able to put you in the rooms where you're supposed to be, I think of that as having a very healthy spiritual nervous system or like a circulation system. San Francisco and the Bay Area has its own version of this. You will like show up in the Bay. You will go to a house party at someone's random hacker house. You'll talk to someone for like 5 minutes and they'll be like, you need to meet Ronnie.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, who's Ronnie? It's like, oh no, come to his party. It's like tomorrow. Great. You go to the party and then you're like, wow, this person really clocked me. Like I actually was supposed to be here. Like they were correct that I need to meet Ronnie and I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So when a city has a healthy spiritual circulation or nervous system, that's what happens. And this is, I think Toronto is the opposite. And what I mean by that is we are so secretive with these subcultures and we are so private and so unwilling to intrude upon other people. Like, it's like, I don't want to presume you're like that, Vin. So I wouldn't say, oh, you have to meet Sophia. It's like, well, I don't really know you. We just met, right? Like that's the Canadian, like, I don't want to assume. And what happens then is it takes forever to find where you're supposed to be.
Right.
And so I've had this, that's why I've described Toronto in the past. For example, on my Substack, I have this essay called Have You Put Down Your Bags that I wrote a few years ago where I was trying to understand Toronto culture. And one of the things I said was...
Can you pull that up, Robbie?
One of the things I said was Toronto culture is very slow. And what I meant by that is it takes a long time to find the people you're supposed to be friends with and to find the scenes you're supposed to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the archive. Have you put down your bags? If you just scroll down.
Sorry, yeah, you're saying
Yes,
it's very slow?
Yes. And so the city is not very good at sorting people because it's not very well connected, and people are unwilling to be like, oh, you would love this thing, you should go to this thing. Or even when people tell you to go to that thing, people are unwilling to show up even. You know, it's like, it takes us a long time. And so many times in the city, I have had the experience of being angry that I was like, this is clearly where I'm supposed to be. Why did it take me so long?
Right.
Like, I should have been in this group a week into moving here.
Right.
And it took me 3 years to find you. I hate that. I've been out here trying to find you. And it just took me this long. I think a lot of people have that frustration where they're like, I feel so alone, but the city is so big. So surely my people are out there somewhere. And I think the city's not good at helping people find their people.
Why don't we just fix that?
That I think we absolutely can fix. Yeah. I mean, we can certainly fix it as individuals, you know, being like, we should be more willing to be like, no, you have to talk to this person. But I think
the thing that is shifting, I think the thing that is shifting is that there's something about the culture that I'm noticing on the day to day. Maybe like you said, it's a generational thing or whatever, but they're shifting. More people are willing to come through and link up and do things and recommend and stuff.
Yeah. That's
but
great.
I really think that the way you describe that's really cool, that the city's not good at sorting people. I think that's right.
So there's a lot of loneliness.
Yeah.
And then there's amazing talent, and then it leaves because
It's not effectively sorted.
Right, because they get connected to their people, but their people are in California. And it's like, it's not actually because there weren't cool people here. It's like our city was just bad at putting you in a room with those people and saying, well, you guys make a company here. And so then before you meet those people, you get poached somewhere else.
Damn. That's really good. But I think that's solvable.
100%. I'm really passionate about solving that thing. Well, I'll add one more thing, which is that I don't think it's just about sorting, because I also think that Torontonians need help deepening their relationships with one another. I think we have like an event culture that makes me mad sometimes.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, people live for events, and then they show up and they'll talk to someone at an event.
Yo, I hate events.
I know. But it's hard to make a real relationship. You know, if you meet someone at an event, it's hard to actually turn that into a friendship. People are little bit.
Isn't that just with like all events? I feel like I'm with that everywhere.
Yes, but Toronto uniquely uses the event as a way to scratch a social itch.
Like, what do you mean? I think this is a new thing too, man. When I was younger, we would just go to a bar and just get like fucked up and stuff.
Yeah. I wish people would do that more now. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, for some reason, I notice us as Torontonians being very culturally reliant upon the event as a way of meeting other people and as a way of being social.
So the reason you're saying that is because like an event requires like so much effort to put together. So if you have to like put together this event for just people to come through or something, like what is an event?
An event is like any gathering in space and time where the activities are curated by somebody else. So there's a host, right? There's someone telling you, talk to someone for 5 minutes. And I'm not trying to like shit on all events. I also run events. What I think is like, but that's why we have so many event aggregators, right? Like Misha's Event Generator. We have like a really event-loving culture.
Okay.
And I think this is my hypothesis. I haven't done actual research on this, so like I could just be completely off base here. I think that the average young Torontonian, if you were to ask them like, oh, you want to meet more people, like that is your goal. What are you going to do? For most people, their first mental idea is, oh, let me go to some events to meet people.
Yeah.
There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I think that we don't have, well, what happens after the event? People are a little bit unwilling to just hang raw, you know?
Yeah.
That's what Matthew and I call it. It's like, oh yeah, let's just hanging raw. Like, oh, let's just hang out in a park. Let's get a drink. Let's just, there's a kind of, you know.
It's so weird. And maybe, I don't know why this is. I don't see any of that.
Okay.
I do see the event part.
Okay, you see that there's a lot of events.
But I mean, all I do is just hang. I don't go to any events.
That's great.
But I never have.
Okay. But do you feel like most Torontonians are like you in that way?
I don't know if they're like me. I never really thought about it.
That's what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah. Like if I want to link up with someone, I just go for a walk.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's how I do it too. I know that's how you all do it here. When Tommy and I first finally met, we went for a walk.
Yeah.
And I found that very refreshing, actually.
Yeah, I've been doing that my whole career.
That's great. But I think
Yeah.
it's part of what makes you all unique, if I may say that. Like, because I'd been in Toronto for years, and then to just like, go on that walk with Tommy, that felt so relaxing. I was like, yeah, this is how I'm used to doing things.
Yeah.
But I
It's
don't
weird
know
that-
that the city operates this way as a whole.
Yeah. It's odd. That sucks because that's all I've been doing. That's all my friends do.
Well, maybe
It's
what
not
you
like a
could
new
do-
thing.
Yeah, maybe what you could do is make culture around that, not just the plazas, but say like
Go for a walk.
go for a walk with somebody as a way of meeting them. Like it's
Right.
like that is a move you can make. You know, you can actually make that move. Like I think maybe people need to know that. I don't know. That would be my guess.
Damn. Interesting. Yeah.
Maybe we even need to name it. Sometimes when we're trying to make things salient from a cultural perspective, you need to like give it a name. Like
Yeah.
go for a thought walker, and that's very bad, but you know what I mean? Like something like that. And then you
Yeah.
can make it a thing, and then people remember it, and then they try it. And then it hopefully
One of the
sticks.
things that we did, it's weird because so I worry. I have this like reaction to these things where I worry about being like too prescriptive about them. You know what I mean? So one of the things that we did that was like really interesting, I think last year we started doing this and it worked pretty well, which was I would go for a walk.
Yep.
And then I would tweet that I went for a walk.
Okay, nice. Like,
Right.
what would you say? Just like, I just went for a walk.
Yeah, I just went for a walk about like I just went for a walk with Michelle. She's like really
Sure.
interesting, like systems thinker, like really cool. And I would maybe link to her work or something, link to your work or something. And so like I would do that, and I would post a photo of like that I took on the walk, but not of us, of like
A bush or something.
our legs
Okay,
in
got you.
motion, something like that. So I would do that, and I would do that, and then what happened was like I started doing that in Toronto, and then like other people started going on walks, and then they started like posting this.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but there's something about it that once I'm like prescriptive about it, I think this is kind of like a blind spot with me personally, but it's like once I'm like, we need more people to go on walks, I'm like, I can't do that shit. I can't do it.
Why?
You know what?
Why? I think I know. I think I feel the why, but I want
I just think it's lame.
It's lame to see all these people copying you.
No, not copying. It's like I just think it's like I think maybe there's value in it. Maybe this is like a Toronto thing or whatever. But like there's probably value in like codifying it or like making it more legible, right? It's just I want to be honest. At the same time, when that happens, I think it's lame, and I think like it probably holds back my ability to like make impact as much as I could. But yeah, I just think it's lame because like I don't go on walks because like I'm trying to
Make walks a thing.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like I just go on a walk because I'm like I don't know, we're like meeting, like how else are we gonna like have a conversation? You just go on a walk, you just have a multi-hour conversation. That's how else? It's just like to me I'm like this is so basic.
Yeah.
And I think if you have to point at these basic things,
Yeah.
you're just making culture lame.
Okay. I love what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think you are putting your finger on like part of the secret sauce of what makes Toronto cool, actually.
Yeah,
Because we have an instinct that being too legible makes us lame.
yeah,
And other cities are not like that, right? Like legibility is fine, maybe even good in other places. What I think the great challenge is in order to grow, you need visibility,
totally.
but maybe not legibility. So maybe the challenge to solve is visibility without legibility.
Right.
You know, I feel like you all are like threading that needle in an interesting way. If you look at the social media around New, it's like,
Yeah.
what is this place?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? It's not very legible,
Yeah.
but it's very visible.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of attractor. So I don't know, maybe you just need to figure out how to make it visible without being too legible. But I think
Yeah.
like you've put your finger on something that is also what makes Toronto unique.
Right.
We're really protective about our secrets.
Right.
And we like feeling like we're in on a secret thing. And so of course it's hard to find things. They're not trying to be found.
Right.
And what you're describing is what makes you a Torontonian. For you to say it would be lame for me to just tell people to take walks.
Yeah, I think it's lame. Yeah,
that's very Toronto of you to say that. You know,
interesting.
And like at the systems level, it produces like these pockets of people secretly doing things that they don't super talk about, which is good and bad. You know.
So I also don't like that being said, even though I think it's lame, it genuinely bothers me that this like idea of like people being lonely or feeling like they're disconnected, or like especially if someone's like really talented, this idea that like that they can't connect with people that are like-minded.
Yes.
I also think that's stupid too. You know, I think that's lame. So it's like this kind of thing where I'm in this kind of transitional time right now where it's like, you know, I think that, I think things have to like change.
You may have to swallow the cringe of being slightly more legible.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do it in a tongue-in-cheek way.
Are you good at that?
Making things legible?
Yeah.
I'm probably more comfortable with it than you are. I don't know if I'm better at it. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't have that. So are you always
comfortable with it?
I would say yes. I think that that's part of. I almost said unfortunately. I think honestly, being a woman, having the training of what it means to like the social role of being a woman, and also having a kind of, I think it's easy, or this is not about my womanhood, this is just about like me as a person. I think I tend to feel people's emotions too. So I think I've just always had this habit of wanting to include other people in things. And that leads over time to developing legibility as a skill.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because, and it's a bunch of structural, it's a lot of structural factors all piled in. I'll put it this way. I think societally, we tend to give men more leeway not to make sense.
Interesting.
So, like, if you have a tenured professor in philosophy, okay, let's just take Derrida.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Derrida.
Who is that?
A post-structuralist philosopher who's famous for writing crazy hard to understand, really obscure French philosophy.
Man, you like all this French stuff.
I don't know why it's coming up. Sorry. And it's not actually important essentially who Derrida is, but
okay, cool.
He's just
he's this guy that
look at that face. That guy's not going to explain anything to you. He doesn't want you to know.
He doesn't make
he doesn't care
he doesn't really make sense.
Well,
he's not as legible.
He's very difficult. Like you really have to study him to understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
If I were to write like Derrida, unfortunately, I think a lot of people, just because of their cultural training, and would not necessarily extend me the same patience.
Right.
Right. When a man with stature doesn't make sense, people are more willing to be like, "Oh, it's me." You know, if let me just sit with this for a few more hours.
Right.
But sometimes, you know, when it's a woman, it's like the tendency is more, "Oh, well, she's not making sense." Like there's less leeway given to you.
Right.
And so one thing that's helped me a lot in my career as like someone who teaches at the Stanford D School or like often has to talk about things that are complex.
Yeah.
I notice that people respond better to me when I bring them in and make them understand things very quickly. Because I don't want to lose them. And I don't want them to have that moment of like, "Ugh, she's not making sense. I'm not paying attention anymore." And so in my career, I've just had to build that muscle of immediately, "Oh, you didn't understand that? Let me just, it's this actually. Okay, everyone's on board. Let's keep going."
Right.
So I think in that sense, I've had to train myself to make things legible.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It is what it is. I'm happy with where it's brought me. I think it is an important skill. I'm sure there's an alternate universe power matriarch version of me that gets to like go off like Derrida and maybe I would have discovered more important, powerful things because I wasn't trying to bring people along every step of the way, but who knows?
You think it limits the process in some way? You think it adjusts like your ability, like how innovative your ideas end up being or something like that?
I think it can. Absolutely.
Really?
It can. I don't feel that limited by it. Like I don't have regrets around it personally.
But why can it?
Because the way to make things legible to people is often to bridge a new concept with an old thing they already know.
Yeah.
So you're always nodding to the old framework. And that means that the further away the new framework is, the harder it is to build a bridge, right?
Interesting.
So if what you're really optimizing for is legibility, I think that it can unintentionally lead to not making radical conceptual leaps.
That was a really good explanation. Damn.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the big structural challenges that women philosophers have, unfortunately.
Right.
You know, it's like, I wish that I could sit in front of a group of people and be like, throw out everything you know. Imagine a green dot. It's just floating there. What does it mean? Empty your mind. You know, like people wouldn't let me do that, you know? But like if a great male philosopher does that, I think a lot of people would be willing to be like, I'm with you, you know, like go on.
Yeah. You're probably right, but you should just try that shit out. Fuck those people.
Yeah, I probably should. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel empowered. Yeah. I want to, I should set the record straight. I don't feel that set back by my gender. Like I feel very lucky as to when I was born in history and where I was born in history, actually. I think the vast majority of the time I feel basically genderless. And that's an enormous privilege as a woman. So I'm not here being like, I've been held back by being a woman, but I just am sensitive to, there are certain moves I know that would be different if I made them, that's all.
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
Interesting. Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we're willing to go with the spiritual guru.
Maybe I should just maybe now I'm thinking because I'm a dude, I should just go off. Like maybe I'm not pushing far enough, you know? Maybe I just need to like fucking go crazy.
I think people would really respect that. That's like the Timothy Treadwell.
Yeah, maybe
you're like the grizzly man of philosophy. It's like, oh, he went so far. Respect
maybe that's what I need to do because like maybe I should just play my role, you know? Just
honestly,
like fucking go crazy with my shit. Like just don't even speak English or something.
So honestly, this
what
is
if I just go crazy? Like
honestly though, okay. I'm going to say this very carefully.
Yeah.
This is not generalizable advice. Right?
What do you
Like don't try this at home, kids, people who are listening. But given what you have told me and the kind of people that you admire, I actually think you should do that.
Damn.
Like I think that something in
Like
you wants to do that. You like to go off completely, to do the Grizzly Man, to do the Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
I just think you really want to, and I would respect that deep desire you have. It might lead you somewhere interesting.
Would you do this if I was like completely like ripped up on like LSD right now?
Would I be telling you the same thing?
Like if I did this podcast, like I'm just like,
oh, like if you were tripping on acid
right now,
and you're saying, would I have even come?
Yeah, I think it'd be weird. I don't know if I should go too crazy.
I think the Toronto way to do that is to have a special LSD episode. I don't think the culture is ready for you to do all of them on acid. But I kid you not, if you were like, every year I do one mega trip episode, and it's like a great honor to be selected as the guest for that episode, because that person is not only being interviewed, they're like your trip sitter. Are you okay? Do you need some water?
That's crazy.
You doing okay? Like you having a bad trip?
Damn.
Like you could even call it trip sitter.
So it's funny.
Like,
so you can do crazy shit as long as you put it in an acceptable box and then tell them that it's only going to happen in this one acceptable box.
Unfortunately, yes.
That's crazy.
But I think the secret, the dark secret, is you can get very far by doing that.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's like there's I don't know what the limits are of what we would tolerate as long as it's in a box.
Oh shit.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Crazy.
Like
that's scary.
Like I know what you just described sounds very conservative. It sounds boring, right? What you just described is like, oh, we could do whatever as long as we put it in a box. And what I'm trying to say is the opposite. It's the optimistic version. It's like,
yo, we can do whatever as long as we put it in a box.
Yeah. And boxes, easy.
What's the craziest shit? You already have some ideas. You have some ideas. You've got some ideas. There's some shit that you want to try. No, in general, there's some stuff you want to do.
Well, I've always had a great love of performance art and durational performance art. So sometimes I dream about
3 weeks.
3 weeks is a bit long. Maybe like 24 hours, 48 hours. I love those like performance art things where people are like just living their life in a lit glass cube or something. And
Can I see it?
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't like. Yeah, it's kind of like a genre. Maybe Marina Abramovich did a famous piece where she was just like living in a gallery.
You want
for a
to do
while.
this?
Yeah, like that would be the kind of
Damn.
crazy thing that
You
I'd
should
love
do
to do
this.
here.
Just do it in a box.
Exactly. See, this is okay. Nuit Blanche, sure.
It's
right?
in a box.
Right.
It's only this. It's like, what is it? Just a week?
Yeah, or it's just a night.
Is this her?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love her. She's one of my heroes.
Can we see this? Like,
Yeah, Marina Abramovich. Can you like say living in the gallery? I don't even know. Living in gallery. Oh yeah, there it is.
you should totally do this.
House with the ocean view. Okay, I love this woman. She's one of my heroes. She's like the grandmother of performance art.
Why do you like her so much?
Because I think she really, I think one of the most important things, a theme in my career and in my life,
Yeah.
is I'm very interested in bringing people into the present and into the now and being like, we're actually here right now. Like
That's
on
cool.
Earth. And I think she really figured out how to do that. Sorry, nudity warning.
It's okay.
She really figured out how to do that through art.
So she just sits there?
She's living her life.
Oh,
She
she like
was just living
poos
there.
and stuff?
Huh?
Does she like, she was sitting on a toilet,
Yeah. She's like fully living life in
but she
different
like
ways.
takes a dump on this thing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Like the great courage. Okay. So
No, for sure. But
the-
that's crazy.
yeah, there's a lot of complexity around performance art because after Abramovich, who was one of the greatest of all time, there was a and she's still alive. I shouldn't say after, but I just mean there was like a rise of art like this, and a lot of it was bad.
Oh, really?
So a lot of it was just like my exhibit is me running into spaghetti naked over and over, and it's like, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
So I think performance art has gotten a kind of bad rap right now. Like I
Right.
think people are a little like burnt out on it, but the OG people who are doing it,
This is OG.
this is so OG.
Right.
We're really onto something because
Is
it's like,
she's just actually drinking a glass of water like that. That
yeah,
looks really cool.
exactly. She's just actually,
So what is she gonna do after this? She like drinks it and then
yeah, it's not scripted. It's just, and it brings you into the present. It's like, we're really here right now. This is really what's happening right now. And we all do this every day,
yeah, that would probably be really interesting to watch actually.
right?
The
There's
room is
also-
probably all quiet and shit.
Exactly.
Every subtle movement she makes.
Yes. It's incredible.
I've seen this one
love
with
her
the
so
red
much.
dress.
Yes, the artist is present. And there's a great documentary about her called The Artist is Present, which I really recommend. That's her and her longtime collaborator, Ule. They had like a torrid love affair that ended poorly, and they made a lot of art together. And he famously showed up at this, and she broke her own rules to touch him like that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
She's super famous.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of, like, you're
so
saying, like,
this is what you want to do.
Yeah,
this
like
is
the craziest.
This is Michelle at her limit.
yeah,
shit
something
this.
like that. I mean, I love performance art.
Why don't you just do this? I should do this.
You could do it, yeah. The reason I'm not doing it right now is I'm just really amped up on this Toronto theory workshop stuff. Like, I feel like all of my creative energy is going towards it right now.
What is it?
I'm trying to present to people my theories of how Toronto culture works and teach them the code so that
Yeah.
they can move their thing to the next level. And I'm trying to make like a series of those things. And it's a part of this design school I'm trying to start called IRID
Oh, that's really cool.
in Toronto. So like all of my creative energy is going into that right now. And to be honest, I'm past when I was in my 20s, the great creative quest was to be seen as who I was, and performance art was part of this like exposure and vulnerability.
Right.
And I think, now that I'm 30, I don't have the same relationship to that anymore. I'm like, yeah, the performance art would be fun, but I don't need that in a deep emotional way as much as I want to like contribute to the city in a
Right.
civic way. Like, I actually think my interests have slightly shifted, even though I would still find it fun.
I would love
to
to
be in
see
a
like what
glass
you would
cube.
do. I'd show
Thanks.
up and just watch you.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that actually, maybe I should. But
Yeah.
I have to find the box, I have
Yeah.
to find the box.
We should do one where it's just like a fucking plaza. And then it's just like
Plaza
it's just
art.
like you just like walk around. It's like a simulated plaza. You just walk around like
I love that.
you just look at this one person, just like walk into like,
Yeah. Wake up. This is your life. There's
yeah, you
no
just
other.
walk in and then it's like this Vietnamese restaurant and then you just sit at a table and then like there's pho on the table and you just
Yeah.
like,
But it needs to be immediate. It can't be filmed. You have to be there
Yeah.
physically. Yeah.
so you'd have to make like a
Some sort of-
simulated plaza thing. So there's like an outside and inside, right? So it's like
Like
you
on
can
stage?
you can like you could see like the outside of it. And then like so like imagine like you see an outside, there's like a bunch of restaurants and it's this plaza.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this like one Vietnamese joint and you like walk in, but when you walk in, like it's like another room you can view. So you sit down, there's like some woman standing there like this, and you just sit at the table, you look at the menu, she brings out the bowl of pho, you sit there, you eat it quietly.
That's great.
Yeah. And you're just like, just really quietly eating it because that's how you're supposed to eat pho, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once it's done, you get up, walk out, lean on your like car in the plaza, then go get like a shawarma. And it's like dripping and shit. You know what I mean? It's like falling and stuff. The fucking thing's not wrapped properly.
Yeah.
You're looking for like a garbage can and stuff.
Maybe I should wear an all white outfit, have
Oh,
iconic
that's
Toronto
good.
meals, and just not clean myself up.
That's
so
good,
like become
man.
like a canvas. Of
That's
the
good.
food scene or something.
That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, I
And then
do
you
that.
just get undressed. Like the end of it's just Hanlon's Point.
Perfect.
You just
so funny.
it's like
Wait,
a
that just
Hanlon's Point. You just take their dress off.
perfect. You
fucking
just synthesized
throw it in this.
all the
Throw it in
themes.
the ocean.
Wow,
Standing there. That'd be
That's
great.
actually so funny.
So what's the Toronto theory thing? Can you break it down for me? I want to like just hit on that. Like I know you've touched
Yeah.
on some of it in this,
Yeah.
but I just want to like hit on like some of it and like what are you working on right now?
Okay, the Toronto theory thing. Like, are you asking what is the event? Or
What is
are
the event
ideas?
series? How are you approaching it? How are you thinking about it? How does it ladder up to like your design practice?
Okay, the event series is after I did Matthew Jordan's history course on Toronto. Toronto's 12,000 years of history.
Yeah.
I started forming a theory of what Toronto culture was.
Right.
And as you already know, previously I'd come with these assumptions about culture, which is that it's really important to understand the culture and the context before you build something. Otherwise, you'll always be moving against it.
Mm-hmm.
So I combined that central idea of need finding with the Toronto theory that came out of that course. And I came into, like this theory of how Toronto culture works.
What
And
is it? How does it work? How does Toronto culture work?
There's 5 values that I think we've inherited
Okay.
from British colonial times that we have repurposed to create a very multicultural, vibrant city.
Can you tell me what they are?
I'm torn because it's a spoiler for the event.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll just tell you.
I feel like you should just tell me.
Okay.
I feel like it's more legible if you tell me.
Very good. Okay, if you're listening and you want to come to the event, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Let's break it down. Let's get into this.
Okay, their privacy,
Yeah.
politeness, permanence, or actually no, protection. Write that down. Protection, paternalism. And the last one is either purity or permanence. I'm like still working through this as a draft.
Okay. Purity or permanence?
Yeah. Like I did purity at the recent one, but I think permanence might be more accurate. But
Okay.
anyway. And these sound really lame, but I
No.
think that what's happened.
For what it's worth, I think it's not lame when you. I think it's really cool when you label these things.
Okay, thanks. Well, what I'm trying to say is if you look at this list, you're like, what? Is this like a British church? Like
In
Toronto's
what-
not this conservative.
Oh, I see.
But what
You're
I'm
saying
trying
when
to
you
say
look at the
is-
values like all together like this.
Yes. But what I'm trying to say is these are the underlying foundational values and we've
Mm-hmm.
repurposed them in fascinating ways.
Okay.
So for example, privacy, politeness. This is what I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
There's a way of doing that if you're like an Anglican British colonist,
Right.
like 150 years ago or something. But the way we do it now is that's Little Italy over there, and that's
Right.
Koreatown. So
Right.
we've taken these British values and taken them to a place where the original British people who were here, original to the modern conception of Toronto, not like deeply original, but anyway, would never have imagined
Yeah.
that we were going to repurpose that. And so the theory is kind of like in evolutionary biology, you see organisms evolve a new feature, like lungs or something. And that process of evolving a new feature is so difficult to do that once it's already evolved, further iterations of that organism are going to find ways to repurpose that structure. Because it's
Interesting.
easier to repurpose what's already there than to create something completely new and random. Like that's just not how evolution works. So my theory is that culture works the same way. That this is not a blank canvas like, oh, I just moved here. What do I want to value? it's like the British were here. They literally formed the grid that we use, King Street, Queen Street, like Bloor. Like we have found ourselves in a place that has all these values already here. And so it's easier to repurpose them towards different ends. And I think that's what we've done. And I think that's what's created the Toronto we know and love. You know, if you love Toronto, I hope you love Toronto, but yeah. And in different ways. Protection is about the fact that the Toronto islands, like this location was chosen by Simcoe to protect from the Americans. He was like, I'm going to put a city here because if the Americans come for us, like Toronto Island and Center Island, like those islands are going to be in the way. So fundamentally, even choosing this physical site for a city was a defensive act. And I think that we continue to be culturally defensive. You know, it's like
what do you mean?
We like what's already there. Like it's hard to introduce something radically new if people feel like it threatens what they already know and love.
Right.
So this is like why it's often hard to build things, or even why the Spadina Expressway didn't get built. It's like, oh, we already love this neighborhood that's here, or these neighborhoods. Like, no, don't make something new because we don't want you to destroy what was here before.
Right.
That's like part of our cultural water. And then paternalism is this idea that like we want to be told what to do. New York did it first. Oh, okay, now we can do it. But we don't want to be the first person to do it. And we want to follow the rules, you know, like and this is also why event culture is so powerful. People like to be told, now talk to a stranger. It's like, oh, I got permission to talk to a stranger, but it would be so hard to talk to a stranger on the TTC because I feel like I'm not allowed to do that.
Right.
You know, I mean, these things sound very bad, but I think once you understand them, you can use them to your own ends.
Okay.
It's like, then we can use paternalism. Like, I'm telling you, make the radical thing that only you can do.
Right.
Like Michelle comes in as the paternalist figure and I'm giving you permission to do that. It's like, oh, okay. Now you're getting things that look really not conservative.
So it's not necessarily that you're saying that people want to be told what to do. What you're saying is that they value like authoritative figures, kind of.
Yeah, I think
Something
there's
like this,
something
right?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a cultural habit we have. Yeah. And
That's
so
cool.
if we understand that, we can use it to our advantage. Like I think one major thing I'm trying to say is this is the box.
Right.
If you build the right box, you can put the craziest shit really. Like
I believe you.
yeah, I think that's the secret. Is it's easy to look at the conservatism of Toronto and be like, oh, they would never let something radical happen here. That's not true.
Yeah.
If you communicate it in the right way, people will accept it actually.
I think so.
So so it is a little the world's your oyster, I feel.
And
Like-
then the purity and permanence.
Permanence, I think, is an interesting one. This is something I noticed with Ben Perry's projects.
Yeah.
When he announced the Viaduct lectures, I'm trying to create the intellectual infrastructure for the city for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
People love that. I loved it. You know, the Torontonian was like, wow. And I think it's because we value solidity, permanence, this idea of looking out into the far future. And it has to do with the stability of the city. It has to do with like Fort York, like having a fort, having protection, having something solid. And you can easily apply that value, you know, instead of being like, oh, I'm just doing random experiments. You're like, this is about the future of Toronto. What we're doing here at New Stadium and all of this, we are trying to think out the next 100 years. What should Toronto look like?
Yeah.
People will love that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that really triggers something in the Torontonian imagination. We're like, that is a valuable thing that you're doing.
Interesting.
If you tried to do that in New York, people would laugh you out of the room. Like, who are you to determine the next 100 years of New York City?
100%.
Lol, you know, when we do it here, people are like, yes, where have you been all my life? We need to be thinking about this.
Damn. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And then purity just has to do with the fact that this is historically a very Protestant city.
What does Protestant mean again?
Like the branch of Christianity.
Right.
And so there was like a anti-alcohol culture for a long
Right.
time, right? There was the temperance movement. It used to be called Toronto the Good.
Yeah.
And I'm still tracing how that shows up. But one funny way that it shows up that's very Stuart brand is like if you dress in a way that's too radical, people will judge you. You know, like people want you to be wearing monochrome. And, I don't know if that's purity or something else, you know, or politeness, but that's one that I'm still teasing through. But
Okay.
like the Protestant influence on the city, especially Irish Protestants through the Orange Order, really like historically documented, powerful. And how could that not have an effect, I guess?
Totally. So you're breaking this down. How do you even figure this shit out? like you've made it really simple, but I'm assuming this process is not like, how did you figure this out?
So my day job is I do need finding as a consultant, and I also teach it at the D School at Stanford.
Yeah.
And one major skill on the consultant side is we're doing what's called qualitative research.
Right.
So instead of a bunch of numbers, we're getting transcripts and we're listening to people and we're being immersed. One of the most important skills in qualitative research is something called analysis and synthesis.
Okay.
So, and that's the ability to go through the data and create a map from it. So when you synthesize, you are taking all these disparate things and putting them together into a theory that encompasses the essence of that. So that's what I was doing when I was in Matthew's course. Like, it was like, I'm consuming all these readings. I'm looking at Toronto. I'm feeling what it's like to be here. And I'm trying to create a new map that explains what I'm seeing and what I'm reading.
Right.
And so that's the process of synthesizing qualitative data is what that is. Yeah.
So you were just taking in a lot of different information using Matthew's course as like a body of research.
Yes.
And then synthesizing it and building on top of that to see what kind of patterns you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's a combination of having conversations with people about it, and there is a kind of, it's almost like a chemical reaction. I don't know how to describe it. There's like a magical moment where it all comes together and you're like, oh, that's it. Yeah, but it's like you're thinking about it for a long time. You go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. You're just marinating it. And at some point, it shifts into a more condensed form.
Totally.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Toronto theory.
This is Toronto theory, but then
this is the basis of it.
This is the basis. This is Toronto theory 1.
The basis of it is that the culture as we know it could be described through these 5 values.
Yes. And if we use that as a code, the city will respond to that. And so whatever you're doing, if you're trying to grow it, it has to speak to these values. Because the city rewards these values. And then the workshop series is in Toronto Theory 1, I introduce these. But then the future ones are going to like zoom in on individual ones and really like dismantle them, or think about like, if we want the opposite of this, how do we change culture? Or how do we use this, like diving deeper into.
So wait, the Toronto Theory 2 expands on these concepts and like expand on the application of them?
Yeah, I'm still writing Toronto Theory 2, but it's going to be on politeness.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Toronto Theory 1 is just the introduction of this idea.
Right.
And the idea that like, you want Toronto to be better, like stop trying to import things from other places and start just learning this place has a culture and we should probably understand it. Here's my first draft.
That's really good.
Toronto 2 is let's dive deep into politeness. Yeah.
And so when's Toronto 2?
I don't know, in a few months. It's in my head still. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to do Toronto Theory 1 again on the 21st of October.
You're doing it here?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, this was a great place to do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And then you have your design practice too, right?
Yeah, you mean the design school? Or like
no, you said IRID?
Like as a yes, IRID.
IRID, sorry, my bad.
IRID is a design school.
What does that
I'm trying
word
to start
mean?
in Toronto. Institute for Relational Intelligence in Design.
Okay. Institute for Relational Intelligence and Design.
Yeah.
And this is your
This
thing.
is my design school.
Independently.
Currently it's independent, but I would love to have like more people work with me on it. Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a website for it?
Well, yeah. I bought a domain, irid.space, but there's nothing there.
That's pretty good. IRID's a cool name.
Yeah, I love it. It's like iridescent, like all the colors. I don't know.
So how's that going to work?
I think the workshops are part of it. I feel like the workshops, the Toronto Theory workshops, are me building out some of the first courses.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I want to create that I think needs to exist is there are a lot of young people who see the world through the lens of complex problems. They're like, when I grow up, I want to work on climate issues.
Right.
Like that. And how can you, growing up in this younger generation, not see the world that way? Like these are pressing, urgent problems that many of them are existential, right? AI safety, like all these things. So, and then they get to college or university and we are forced to see the world through the lens of disciplines. It's like, you can't major in climate. You can't major in AI safety. You have to major in like engineering, industrial engineering. And so what I see happening in the Canadian education system is people get shoved into these disciplines and then they're told, if you care about climate, there's like a seminar on that in your 3rd year, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So then by the time you graduate, you basically have 2 options. One is you get real, you need to pay rent. You just take whatever job you're not working on climate. Let's be real, right? You're doing something in the industry. Or you're like, no, I'm not going to compromise. I want to stay radical. And those people end up going to grad school where they can continue to think about their ideas, and then they stay in the academy and they continue to teach the next generation. But those ideas don't necessarily go into the world and change the world. It's hard to bridge that academic utopian vision with the realities of the world. So my question is like, what fascinates me is, where are we incubating the young people who want to be making radical new shifts in how we do things collectively? And like, who already know they want to do that? Where do those people go? Because I feel like our education system is literally training it out of them, and we can't collectively afford that anymore. Like, we actually need to be solving these problems. So it feels like an enormous waste when I see these bright-eyed young people who lose that spark when that's literally the thing we need the most. And so we need like an institution that can incubate that. So
you're doing that in Toronto?
That's what I'm doing in Toronto. Yeah.
Damn.
That's what I'd like to do. That's a long-term vision. Like, I have so many questions. I'm like, should it be accredited? You know, do I need to actually give people degrees? You know, probably eventually, yes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Based
amazing.
on your code.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. Exactly. So I need to figure out how to get accredited. It's like, you know, what are the courses we teach? How does it get funded? Are people willing to pay for this? All these things. Like, I have so many questions I need to answer, but that is the long-term vision.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really good stuff.
Yeah, it feels really important to me. I think that I'm very lucky that when I went to Stanford, they let me not pick my major for 2 whole years.
Right.
And the Canadian education system takes its cues from the British one, where we have to pick a major right away. People get put in these boxes. And I'd gotten into U of T, but if I had stayed here, I would have like majored in freaking English or something. Like, I don't know who I would have become if I hadn't been exposed to that interdisciplinary way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of really bright-eyed, interesting young people are being made actively less interesting by the unfortunate trade-offs they have to make when they're becoming educated and socialized. And I think that's a mistake our society is making.
Yeah,
but when I hear
agree.
you talk, like, I know you see the world this way.
Yeah.
You see the world in your life through questions.
Totally.
So like, the whole point of IRID is there are other young people who see the world that way. Let's not ruin that.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Let's give them a space to grow and explore.
I think it's really, really important. It's definitely worth fighting for sure.
I really believe that.
Yeah. I think you're really, really talented. I think you're really cool.
Oh my God. Thanks. What's going on?
I think we should wrap. But I'm just saying, like, I think like, I think you're a really interesting person. And I think, like, I would love to work with you sometime for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's been documented. It's on the live stream.
I think, I think
we should hang out. We should go on a walk too.
Yeah. I think I could learn a lot from you. And, I think we're just scratching the surface. Like, this is kind of like a first chat, but I'm like always down to like jam. I think, the way you break things down and the way you can make them like accessible.
Oh, okay. That's
like really
good, right?
Yeah,
that's
I think
the
it's just
legibility
good.
thing.
Yeah, I think it's just good design. And I think like, I think I can like learn a lot from that. And I think like if you do the stuff that you're talking about, like, I think it can have like a really high impact.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I have to figure out how to make it real. But I do agree with you. I think what I'm imagining, the big challenge is to make it real. I have no doubt that once it's real, people will need it and it'll be so important. It's just like getting from here to there.
Yeah, just down to help in any way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very meaningful.
Cool.
Great.
Hanlon's Point, man.
Yeah, that's the one takeaway. If you need to be naked in the city of Toronto.
That's where I'm headed right now.
Yeah, don't despair.
There's a place straight to Hanlon's Point. I got this.
There's a place for you.
Yeah, man. Gonna grab a shawarma.
If you don't turn that into a clip, I'll be so disappointed.
We'll do it.
That's where I'm going. I'm going straight to Hanlon's Point.
All right. Thank you for everything. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
That's good, man. Damn. You're smart as hell.
Oh. Thanks for having me.